The people you meet when you started, trust me, by the time you're getting to the middle, you'll meet them again. However, you relate to them when you started, they would also relate to you when they meet you at the other side. So, yes, that's our video of the day. It's a Friday, like I said, a very solemn one though, but then we'll be making sure that we pump some energy into the weekend as well. And it's time for us to head to the court. Mutala Inusa is here. Well, so yes, indeed, it's a Friday, and Mutala Inusa is here with GHToday. Mutala, I know you love Fridays. Yeah. Because on Fridays, you don't take any advice. But how are you doing, my brother?
You know
what I guess you don't advise people on Friday. So you wait Saturday, Sunday cry, you don't advise. So Monday early morning, then you drop the advice.
No, I thought I was only re-echoing the words of Prince Essien, Echo, Benjamin Saki,
and Tutu Adam. So that Start Today crew. You won't talk about their matter today. The last time I did, they gave me wahala. So So good morning to the Start Today team. Yeah, Tutu Adam, so Eko Anan, Benjamin Saki, and then Prince Essien.
The academy squad.
Those people you don't advise them. To them. You don't advise them.
It's not one academy. We all do love Fridays. Yes, we do. Then today is Friday. And today's Friday is much more significant because of what we do have on our hands as a nation. Today, our former First Lady, Nana Kunedu Ajiman-Rawlings, is exiting. And for me, a legend is going home.
Absolutely. And we'll be live at the ceremony as well. So viewers, this is where you get the all sharpest the updates, images, right? All the updates, up to the minute updates on that service. And definitely we'll be there to bring you the live stream. But then the interesting bit is that next week, Saturday, my goodness. The corporate walk.
The corporate walk. Please.
You can't afford to miss it. In fact, this is going to be the biggest convocation.
The point is that
it's next week Saturday.
You can't afford to miss it. Yeah. For those who, for so many years, you have not had the opportunity to exercise. This is the opportunity.
You know what? Somebody who says that he wants to come and see what you would wear in terms of sneakers. Because every day we see Mutala. Mutala is in suits.
Please come.
Or he's in an African print.
Come.
And you're always
come and see Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Come and see Bolare. Come and see Santor. Come and see Alice Haiti. The whole squad, IB, all of us will be there, right?
We are all there.
Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Come and see him.
I've even started. So today I'm wearing my mallet. I'm already ready for the show.
What's your size?
Oh, size 45. I'm a real man.
I can see size.
I mean, when I see men who wear 39 and things, I'm asking.
They are being cheated.
So the Star Corporate Walk is on the 6th of December, which is just next week Saturday, and so we are inviting every single one because everybody at the EIB network will be there, from the top to all of us. We are here, and we are inviting all corporate bodies, individuals as well, all those who watch us on GH1 television, listen to us on Star FM, on Kasapa, on Ago, wherever you are a part of this family. Please do join us. And it's here. We are coming to the premises of the EIB network. We're coming to network. We are coming to have some fun, exercise a bit here and there. And there are a lot of surprise giveaways as well.
The side that I enjoy, the aerobics.
The aerobics. Then you're dancing, then you're going to dance. And it's very important because most of us don't get the time to do
Yes. And for those of us who are sportsmen, this is our moment. This is what we enjoy. This is what gives us orgasm. You get it?
Hey, Mutala, it's a Friday, but
it's a Friday. So the point is that you have to come, exercise, burn some of the calories in the system. You get
why
it?
Are you looking at me directly when you are talking?
Because I'm talking to you.
I'm fit, too. I'm very fit.
Yeah,
the fact that I wake up very early
and
I come and sit here doesn't mean that I'm
when was the last time you had a walk?
So we are saying that
when was the last time you had a walk?
On the 6th of December, forget Mutala, on the 6th of December, come walk with the CEO, the MD, all the guys here at the EIB network, all your stars on television will also be there. Mutala Inusa will be there. Come and ask him questions about how how he does his court work and all of those things. Come, let's mingle, let's have fun. You know, let's and you
come and meet all the squad members.
Feeling daddy, yeah. You come and see
behind the scenes,
a very tall man, very tall.
It's true.
Feeling daddy will also be around. So please,
not Dede will be here. Lily Mohammed, Sewa Mehe.
So come and see Lily in sportswear. You know, trying to exercise. You gotta be there. You have to be there. So 6th of December, next week Saturday, we are inviting all of you. Come, one big family. Let's have a good time. Let's exercise and let's connect. And that's the most important part. If you're a company, you are looking for a way to end the year with your staff. Bring them. Bring all of them here. Our park is so big. Come here, let's talk, let's walk, let's have fun, let's connect, and let's do some great business as well. So the Star Corporate Walk is happening on the 6th of December, 2025. Next week, Saturday. Please, you can't afford to miss that. But let's go to court, Mutala, because if you don't come, we'll take you to Mutala's court.
Yes, you'll not even be fit to... you don't have the energy to listen to us. So exercise is good. 6th December, this is your venue.
Absolutely.
You have to be here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just Kodjo Mensah. Yes, we are talking about fitness exercise and all, but we still have to go to the court.
It's very necessary because that's when we settle the matter.
When there is a dispute, that is where we'll settle the matter. Yes. And this week having been an ADR week, it's also one of the things that is going through the system and all of that. But Chairman GHOne to me yesterday was in court. These are Akunta mining issues, assigning a mineral right without permission or without authorization. He, together with one other accused person who is at large, Kwame Entry, and then his company, Akunta Mining, they have denied the charges that have been leveled against them. Yesterday, case management conference was to happen where all the evidential document that the prosecution has against him were supposed to have been gone through with all the parties to make sure that whatever is they have filed is what the court has and is what they have. If they have any questions, they will ask. Yesterday, prosecution led by Nanama Prempe, a senior state attorney, indicated to the court that yes, they were done with filing of disclosure documents, witness statement, and for them they were poised for case management conference to happen. Then lawyer for Chairman GHOne to me, Andy Apiakubi, just stood up and said that he has something to say. What did he have to say? He mentioned to the fact that he make the point that he anticipated that there were certain documents that they believed are in the possession of the prosecution. And because of that anticipation, they were waiting for the prosecution to close or to indicate that they have finished filing their disclosures. Then if that document or if those documents are not part, then he will file a motion. So yesterday, he indicated that yes, there were certain documents that they believe that are in the possession of the prosecution, which will help them prosecute their defense. And for that matter, they will be filing that motion, which he said he had already prepared. The court said, okay, once you say you have already prepared the motion, then it shouldn't take you a long time to file. So Monday, file it. Let it have it served on the state prosecutors, and then we'll come back to court on December 8th. And on December 8th, the court will listen to the motion, hear the motion, and determine whether indeed that request that they are making, the further disclosures that they are seeking, is indeed in the possession of the prosecution and the orders that the court will give following from there. But it didn't end there. Justice Audrey Kokuvite, just before she had adjourned the case, or just before adjourning the case, said, Chairman GHOne to me will have to file a list of all witnesses he may be calling. The court used may because in the course of the trial, at the end of prosecution's case, the court would then have to decide whether there is a prima facie. If prima facie is established by way of the witnesses or the evidence that prosecution has put before the court, then the court would then invite him to open his defense. It is at that point that he will also need his witnesses. So that's why the court is saying that you may file it, the witnesses that you may want to call, their names, addresses, at the registry of the court before the next agenda date, so that the next agenda date, when case management conference is happening, the court will know what to do. His lawyer, Andy Apiakubi, has been speaking to me on that subject.
At the last agenda, there was indication that prosecution wanted to file further documents. So we inquired whether such documents have been filed. Unfortunately, we have not been served with such documents. Prosecution indicated that it does not intend to file any further documents, and therefore they were ready for case management. It is also our expectation that they will have filed some documents that we will rely on, which documents have not been filed, but which we believe such documents are within the possession of the prosecution. So we pray the court that we will come in with a motion, praying the court for an order directed at the prosecution to serve us the documents that we need. When they serve us those documents, we will rely on them. When they are not able to serve us those documents, there will be a presumption of the non-existence of those documents. And therefore, nobody can quote or rely on such documents. So we have been given up to Monday to file our motion, and the return date for the motion is the 8th of December. We'll come and move the motion for the orders of the court directed at prosecution. And when we are so served, then we will include same as part of our documents to rely on. Then we'll file it before the beginning of the trial so that we can make references to the content of such documents.
So,
and the appeal could be there.
Yes. So he's giving us some circumstances within which they believe that there are certain documents within the reach of prosecution, for which reason they want the court to make an order for them to have those documents, which they think that will help them fight their mount proper defense in relation to this case. But on the issue of the order for him to file the list of witnesses, he also has this to say.
So, to file a list of our witnesses and their addresses by the next agenda, which we will religiously do before we come back to court. So these are the issues that confronted us in court. We have dealt with them. The court agrees that we should file the motion. We will do so and come and move the motion. We will not disclose the documents we rely on until the motion is taken. So we are grateful to you for your continuous support.
Apia could be fair. So on December 8th, Chairman Wontumi, Akonta Mining will be back in court. And you know that the case yes, a funny Monday. You know the cases are two. This one is in respect of the one that Akonta Mining and then assigning mineral rights without permit from the minister. Then there's another leg which involves the one that his manager, the manager of Akonta Mining,
the one who is singing now for the for the AG.
Yes, that one is also a separate case, and that one is also pending sometime December 4. That one will also come up. So that is just for you to know the differences. So I know somebody is asking, what happened to the one that
it is not gone. It is still
that
there.
One is there. So December 4, that leg of that case will be up before Justice Ruby Aite. This one is before Justice Audrey Kokuviti. So in respect of the Akonta Mining and Chairman Wontumi's case, this is what happened in court yesterday.
But yesterday you made mention of the fact that we're expecting the case also involving Abdul Wahab Hanan.
Yes,
Buffer Stock, former
Buffer
CEO.
Stock, yes. National Food and Buffer Stock Company and the wife. Yes, yesterday they were in court. The video you are seeing is not yesterday's video. This is a video we took the very first day, 22nd of October, when they were first arraigned and pleaded not guilty, granted bail. They have satisfied their bail conditions. Yesterday, both of them were in court when the matter was called before Justice Audrey. Once it's a process called it's a process. Once you are arraigned, your process is clear. your plea will be taken, their processes, their disclosures and witness statement. The principal state indicated that they have but there are some of their witness statement, and so too will certify with them and adjourn the matter to the 16th of back in court on the 6th of November. But what is clear is that prosecution will then have to complete filing the processes, especially how many cases they will be relying on in relation to fighting or prosecuting this very matter at the High Court. So that's what happened. Today is Friday, and because we are mourning, because today we are celebrating the life of Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings, we don't want to bore you so much.
Absolutely.
Expect more things to happen,
right?
Especially Monday when we come here, we'll update you on all the things that you expect in court. But today we have decided that we are mourning, and so we have to observe it as
we'll keep it short. But absolutely, while we are mourning, your lunch is on me today.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I'll take you to a joint in La today.
I know you don't disappoint.
Fufu boutique are next.
I don't take fufu, so you have to.
Yes, but I don't already have other things. I was there last week, and it was much. Now my director is also trying to enter the frame.
Okay, you forget.
But don't worry. So this afternoon, I'll take you guys along. It's not far.
The point is that you can take everyone here, but director is not good.
Oh, Banini, what have you done to Mutala?
Director will not go.
Waiting man do man. So this afternoon we'll head to Fufu Boutique, just a few meters from the La police station. Last week they hosted me to some free lunch, and it was amazing. The fufu, fufu doesn't have taste, but then it's the soup that complements the fufu, and the soup.
It's just like eating wachi and a shito.
You understand, and so and then on the 5th of December they also they're giving free babs to anybody who comes to eat fufu. Hey, Fufu Boutique.
He sent me the location.
So, lady and Echan, good morning to you, and thank you so much for last week. And I enjoyed the meal so much.
The treats they gave you, you have to give me.
They have to give you the treats. Hey, okay. So, Mutala Inusa there helping us with court today. But now let's do Inside Out. Right, it's been a very busy week. This week, from Parliament to court to schools, religion, to the IGP. So much has happened this week. And so we know that on Monday, we saw that ruling from the High Court in Tamale, basically asking or ordering the Electoral Commission to conduct a fresh parliamentary election in Pandai. So what that meant was that the MP in Pandai now had to file an appeal and also an order for stay of execution of that particular ruling. We saw how it unfolded in Parliament. Yesterday we heard from the Speaker, who gave the decision on the matter as well. And there have been quite a number of issues as well. Religious discrimination, people have called it, with Wesley girls, Muslim students in the school. It reignited the whole conversation about where we have to place religion and faith when it comes to education in the country. Also seen as a lot of the secondary schools, the senior high schools, are basically were constructed or were started as mission schools, I should say. And so that conversation also gave rise to quite a lot. We heard so much. Then we saw the letter from the presidency saying that the IGP, Christian Tete Yohuno, he gets a 2-year extension, and that was actually the position of the police council. The president okayed it. Christian Tete Yohuno gets 2, and today Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings goes home. And so this is where we invite you to also share your thoughts on these issues with us, because on Fridays, you are our special guests on the show. So the numbers are on your screens. You can pick the numbers, put in the call, and let's hear from you on what you make of all these issues that have been raging during the course of the week. And also, yes, the budget's conclusion done. E-levy, that one we know has been away. COVID levy has joined e-levy. They are all dead and gone now. So join me. Let me hear from you. Know exactly what is on your mind this morning. The phone numbers are on your screens now. So just put in the call. Let me find out from you exactly where you stand on these issues, how the issues came to you. We have my first call on the line. Hello there, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good morning, my dear brother. My name is Kinkaka from Takwa.
All right. My brother, what's on your mind?
What my mind is about the IGP extension. In fact, he actually deserves it. And the wisdom of the president is excellence, the resetter man, the visionary man. If you will know how been promoted when he was due for the IGP, I think by this time, he will bow out when his time is up. But because of politics, he did not, but rather they choose him as deputy IGP, which is not. And President Mahama seemed to it that they have cheated the man. So the man needs to serve, not serving for himself or for the Ghana. Since the GHOne IGP came to power, the criminal is diminishing. It's not going crowd, but it's diminishing. And you see that anything there's a crime, rise up, not like other IGP we used to know, Photoshop and the social media. No, this man is the action man. Just imagine the last time he went to Tamale. See what happened to him there. That he stood on his foot and went back again. And those who matters, he arrested. And since he came, our security, even IGP GHOne is the only IGP when President Mahama mentioned his name, all police in all over Ghana were jubilating because they know the man is their own and he can fight and reset the police system in Ghana. So kudos to him, and I wish him all the best to prosper Ghana, all of us. My greeting to Eastern Region Women Organizer, Madam Sherina Nampi, and my mother, Madam Gades.
Right. So you believe that this particular appointment, the extension is in the right direction? Well, he's gone there. Well, he says that he strongly supports the extension. Let's check out what you also have to say. Hello there. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Boca.
Okay. My brother, what's on your mind?
I'm on the issue of the art.
Hello? Hello? Looks like the connection there is a bit problematic, but you can also call. The phone numbers are on your screens. Let me know exactly what is on your mind this morning. We have another caller. Hello there. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Mohamed. I'm calling from India.
Right. My brother, what's on your mind?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I just want to touch on the issue that has to do with the fair discrimination at Wesley Girls.
Okay.
All we are pleading on the Christian society to temper justice with mercy, regardless of their values and what have you. We think they are aware of pillars in Islam, and one of them is prayer, another is fasting, and these are major pillars in Islam. In as much as we agree that every Muslim girl or every Muslim who goes to this Christian school should abide by their whatever rules, regulations they have, and even if not the Christian or the Muslim school, in other secular schools, you have it where you have to abide by their rules and regulations. So definitely that's one non-negotiable. But what we are saying is that with regards to the prayer and the fasting, they should be allowed to do those things. Then, in Islam, you will be forced to go and pray when you are not, you don't accept Allah and Muhammad as a messenger. In that regard, you are not a Muslim at all. So even if you are sent there to any mosque to pray, Allah wouldn't accept your prayer because in the first place, you don't accept him and you don't accept his messengers as well. So what we are saying is that we are pleading on the Christian society community to look into all the results so that the way we live with the Christian society would continue rather than having this volatile atmosphere in the country. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you too so much for calling and also sharing your thoughts with us on this particular matter. Let's check out what you also have to say. Hello there. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Solomon. I'm calling from Sola in the Savannah region.
Oh, how's the Savannah region this morning?
Divine grace. We're in the shape.
Absolutely. Solomon, talk to me.
You see, this issue there, it's high time we have to look at it very critically. Other than that, it calls for division. You know, in every institution, definitely there will be rules that govern the institution. And the more we are more interested in this religious rights, that's why most of the schools, you see, the discipline level is gradually coming down. Even if you go to the Islamic schools, definitely there are some true things that mainly deal with Islam that we encourage people to do. If you go to that their Zalabia they put on their head, definitely all ladies or you all put it, whether you're a Christian, you're not a Christian, these are basic things. Look, I think leadership have to come in and calm these nerves down. And if not, banter down, like it will escalate and cause for a lot of things that will not be wanting as a country. Ghana is a peaceful country we are living. That's the only country we got to. That's the way to go. So please, let's try and come together as one family and make peace reign. Thank you.
Solomon, for calling all the way from the Savannah region. Let's pick our next call and also find out exactly what he's also saying. Hello there, good morning. Hello. Okay, well, looks like we are battling to get our caller online, but I think I have time for one more call. Hello there, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Your name and where you're calling from?
Please, I'm calling from also Savannah region.
Okay. And your name is?
I'm Sedu.
Right. Sedu, what's on your mind?
What is on my mind is the hullabaloo about the discipline, so-called indiscipline in schools about Muslim girls. And yes, the Christian mission started the school with some kind of disciplines. And we all know, yet we send our children there and we don't want the discipline. But over here in the north, I'm telling you, my children have been to a mission school in the Wanchi district. It's a Kama. They're all wearing hijab. They practice, they did the Islamic things. And 3 of them, 2 boys, 1 girl. And I love the school because of the discipline. But they all went through what they were doing at the school. I never complained. You come here, police stations, there are mosques, the district assemblies, you go there, there are mosques. All the schools, the secondary schools, we see mosques in all of the secondary schools. And even nursing training colleges, there are mosques there. Yet the Christians doesn't even have a police to worship. They will fight, do everything, write letters, and yet they will never even have a place to worship. Yet these people, they can even build 1 mosque and say it's no big. Build another mosque or 2 in a secondary school, a public school. I don't know why we are training our children and we don't want morality, discipline to be part of us. And that is why Ghana is becoming, this stealing and corruption is becoming the way it is. We gain the knowledge and we don't have the conscience of God to do right, to help ourselves, and to do the things that are of God. So it is not all about knowledge. It is not all about education. Please, morality, what our fathers, my father was a traditional man, but what he left behind, I don't see somebody turn and look back to it again because who I am built with. So I just pray that discipline. Then in the case, we should let the police women be wearing hijab too, but they are also Muslims. When you go to military, the military people should also be wearing hijab and they should be building mosques and everything there.
Okay, Sedu.
Yes, when you come, why is it about Christian schools?
Right. Well, Sedu, thank you so much for calling and sharing your thoughts with us all the way from the Savannah region. We appreciate your calling every Friday morning to also share your thoughts with us. But let's check out what the newspapers are reporting this morning. Morning, we commence with the Chronicle. This NDC government is clueless. Osahin Alexander Kwamna Apanyomakin fires in Parliament. Minority oppose construction of Accra Kumasi Expressway. That's according to the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasela Tuforsen. Ama Kofi Boa to commission in Kasim cooperative mining soon. Minority leader faces possible expulsion from Parliament. You know that he's been cited for contempt by the Speaker. We heard that yesterday. Unemployed man bites off policeman's lower lip. What is a policeman's lip doing in your mouth? Anyways, 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 27 is the scripture for today. But God chose what is foolish in the world to shame the wise. God chose, he chose what is weak in the world to shame the strong. That's the scripture for the Chronicle this morning. I will come later and come and tell us which one it really applies to. The Informer is next. Says ex-MC threatens to expose Natoshi over alleged misapplication of common fund. Security Dawn predicts more coups in Africa. Cites constitutional manipulation and ECOWAS's ineffectiveness. Has a picture of Professor Kwesienin there. Kunedu joins Maker today. Kodjo defends Kissie Jaben over attacks, and it's premature to declare Mandai seat vacant, according to the Speaker of the House. He says that, well, we know it has 7 days, and that would elapse on the 30th of November. So 1st December, then the seat can be declared vacant because Mandai MP would have to go. Anyways, plenty to this. We'll come to that. Galamsey, Ghana's gold rush at a cost, is also captured on the front page of the Informer newspaper. The Weekend Crusading Guide says land deal backfires, but VRA foments trouble in Ajna with Navy land guards in quotes. And there's also saga of Ghana Air Force aircraft fleet. Delegation and planes for Airbus to inspect pre-ordered presidential jets. Budget debate mere cosmetics? That's the question that the new Weekend Crusading Guide is asking. Krobo youth cheer over IGP's 2-year extension. There's also Stop Nungwag Babulomo's procession to install rival chief. Osustu Council petitions the IGP. Hands-off cooperative mining. And Kasem youth warn politicians as Arcom's debt begin registration processes. When to go undercover, ethical questions and strategic steps for the AI age are NAS. And then there's also Sefi Chirano, Paramount Chief warns youth against drugs. That's the new Weekend Crusading Guide. The Daily Graphic this morning, under Feed Ghana program, $400 million poultry big break inaugurated. President touts import substitution projects. And this is one of the things that I don't think that regardless of the political party you belong to, you would oppose this. I mean, we want the Nkukon to grow so that we can chew made in Ghana Nkukon. Because the amount of money we spend every year to import frozen chicken, some of which you cannot even vouch for their quality. Because sometimes when it lands on your plate, you realize that this bird has gone through a lot. So we all support this particular one, regardless of political affiliation. AGI hails economy's performance, commends government for gains. Kwewu chiefs petition IGP to probe Abene Palace raid and compute Ghana Black Friday deals. And then Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings goes home today. The Daily Guide this morning, ex-Buffer stock boss trial. AG to file papers in 2 weeks. Traditional leaders reject 5% lithium royalty is also captured there. Matthew Nyendam is qualified MP, according to the Speaker, until the 1st of December. Ibrahim Mahama inspects Tamale Senior High School project. And there's also 27 drug peddlers arrested, arms, ammunition retrieved. That's the Daily Guide for you. The Custodian says new lithium deal bad for Ghana. That's according to the minority in Parliament. MIF dragged to RTI Commission over 2024 audit report. And NDC team inspects 13 billion CD Airbus luxury jets. NPP MP exposes 2026 budget deceptions, and it's premature to declare Mandai seat vacant. Speaker Bagbin rules. The Ghanaian publisher says Ghana sold out in lithium deal, according to the minority. Airbus picked to supply Ghana's new luxury presidential jets. MIF faces RTI over 2024 audited report, and Chief of Staff Julius Deborah inaugurates World Cup committee. Right, so these are what the papers are reporting. You can get copies at the newsstands to get further details. And shortly after this break, my seniors will be joining me. We'll be having a conversation about all these running issues. Stay with us. you so much for sticking and staying with us. Let's get into the breakfast review segment now. All right, so let's review some more papers before we get into the conversation this morning. And the Source newspaper this morning leads with MIF 2024 audited report, CEO dragged to RTI Commission. There is also, court gives AG 2 weeks to file buffer stock disclosures. And MIF made a record 1.96 billion cedi income in 2024. And also NDC enabling Galamsey through Gold Board. That's according to Osahin Alexander Kwamina Afenyo Markin. And court to Wuntumi, file your list of witnesses. And we got details of that as well in court today. And that's it for the Source, reliable and trustworthy reporting there this morning. Well, thank you so much for staying. It's a Friday, and so we get to sit with experienced editors and have conversations on the raging issues during the course of the week. And last week, we had this same panel. Very, very interesting. In fact, at a point, we did not want to close because the revelations were back to back. And I'm hoping that this Friday would also be nothing short of that explosive. We have Wilberforce Asari. He is the political editor of Assassin Radio. And, of course, Audu Mahama, managing editor of the Custodian newspaper, and my own boss, Oga Kwata Kwata, Ibrahim Al-Hassan, head of political desk here at the EIB Network. He's producer for GHToday, producer for State of Affairs. What else don't you produce? Except with my own life. But gentlemen, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
How has it been for you, IB?
Well, it's been a packed week.
Right.
In Parliament, and which ended yesterday, not necessarily ended. Today they will come there and continue. But I think a chunk of the heavy lifting has been done. The budget debate ended yesterday. Martin Yindam still remains a member of Parliament until December 1, right? Asenso Boachi wrote a letter to the President, which became a subject of discussion yesterday on the floor of Parliament, with Dr. Kesera to force him throwing him under the bus. And social media is in a frenzy, referencing the Akosombo Dam and Temamoto Way and what have you. But of course, that's politics for you. And then, Alexander Kwame Afenyo Markin, the minority leader, will have a date with the Bernard Ahiafo chaired Privileges Committee
that should
over the ECOWAS brouhaha. But you see, and I saw the Chronicle headline. I think that's far-fetched. So to say that the minority leader faces expulsion from Parliament, come on, see. What happens at the Privileges Committee sitting will be, tell us why. It's just like a query being sent to you. Tell us why we should not punish you. And if the minority leader shows up and says that I hold an elected office in ECOWAS Parliament, usually lists are presented by caucuses. My caucus presented a list, and I'm on that list, right? So if my caucus says I should go and represent it in ECOWAS Parliament,
right,
I disagree with any resolution that says otherwise. Again, my deputy that was selected.
Right.
Yeah.
I know Ibrahim, when it comes to parliamentary issues, he gets right into it. He wants to dig in. He doesn't want to scratch the surface at all. But of course, like we said to you earlier, we would also be crossing over to the funeral grounds, the Black Star Square, where we're having the final funeral rites for Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings. So on your screens now, live feed from the grounds as the ceremony kickstarts any minute from now. So Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings, we know, will be bidding her final farewell this morning. Right, so as it stands now on your screens, some more dignitaries are filing past the body. Well, we understand that the family, her children especially, are filing past her mortal remains now as we speak. And that's where you can see the red, gold, green tent That's where the mortal remains of Nana Konadu Adjumani Rawlings lay this morning. In your screens now, Joyce I, the woman does not grow, forever young. They're also in the shot. And so, yes, we'll be giving you live updates on the ceremony. But talking about Nana Konadu Adjumani Rawlings, I mean, Audu, how would you remember her?
Oh, Nana Konadu, let me say good morning to our viewers.
Yeah.
Look, was the longest serving first lady in this country. To me, she was by far the most impactful first lady of this country. Look, this woman empowered women.
Yeah.
The political activism, the awareness, the education, as I said, it impacted on children. Look, she spearheaded daycare centers across the country, and that enabled many people to be in school. That's the area of education. And if people were to give their testimonies about how Nana Konadu Adjumani Rawlings spearheaded daycare centers impacted their education, you will be amazed.
Yeah.
And politically, she actually conscientized women, and she was a role model for so many women in this country to be politically active. And she has done so much for this country. And if you look at her work over the years, during the military regime, from 1979 out to 2001, January 6th, when the husband left, when she was no longer the first lady of this country, she still continued to be politically active. Politically, even the NEC people will acknowledge, even though latter part of her political career, she parted ways somehow with them. They will acknowledge, and they say acknowledge, that she actually helped in strengthening the party called NDC. In these formative days, from 1992 up to the time she quit. And so this is a woman that we should have celebrated while she was alive.
Alive, yeah.
Look, it doesn't matter which political party you belong. The work of this woman speaks for itself. What she has done for this country. Look, I talk of woman empowerment. You remember the interstate succession law,
yeah,
where her group spearheaded it, and women were virtually treated like nobodies. But that law actually gave them something. And right now there's some legislation in Parliament to improve on that law, including. So it is a woman that Ghanaians should celebrate. And as I say, it doesn't matter which political party you belong
to. Absolutely.
She served this country well. And that is it. Look, everybody, she was a human being. Like all human beings, we all have our problems, our weaknesses, and our strengths. But her strengths far outweighed her weaknesses or her flaws for me. And she's a woman I respected so much until she passed on.
Right.
And
right.
if you look at her life, you have nothing to say but to admire.
Absolutely.
What she stood for. And you remember this phrase, be bold. Be bold, and that's how she virtually summarized her whole life throughout her career. Boldness.
Boldness, yeah.
It's what she stood for.
Right.
She was strong in whatever she wanted to do, and the country. It is good that the country is giving a befitting funeral burial, and we say. May her soul rest in perfect peace, and to the family, we pay our condolences to the Biri family, especially the immediate family. Dr. Zanato Adjumani Rawlings and her siblings. That look, anything, everybody will have an end. No matter how long you live on this earth, there's a day that you have to go back to your maker, and it is time for her to go back to
exactly. It is time for her to go
back to her maker.
But it's not time for Wilberforce to go, but it's time for him to also tell us what he remembers about her briefly.
So, you know, just like the passing of Jerry Rawlings was the end of an era, that is how I think the passing of Nana Akufo-Addo Rawlings is also the end of an era. And I think it goes to strengthen the good old saying that behind every successful man, there is a successful woman. And so we cannot tell the history of this, our beloved country, without talking about Jerry Rawlings and Nana Akufo-Addo Rawlings. The two of them have played a very pivotal role in our history. Indeed, this constitution of our republic that will survive for 32 years was signed off by Jerry Rawlings, with Nana Akufo-Addo Rawlings, the one holding the pen that was used in signing it. Well, yes, but that is the truth. And it is that constitution that a military officer who took over government signed that has survived.
Yeah.
And from all indications, it appears this Fourth Republic is going to survive, because nobody is ready to go the route of other countries. So Nana Akufo-Addo Rawlings, I think, has paid her dues to this, our beloved country. And I'm told, I do not know whether the history is correct, but I'm told that our current president, John Dramani Mahama, was handpicked by Nana Akufo-Addo Rawlings into politics. That's what I'm told, that he was working at the Japanese embassy or so, and then made contact, and then she brought him into politics, and today he's president, and today he is the one who is supervising the final funeral rites of Nana Akufo-Addo. That's history. And that goes to tell everybody that, look, no matter whatever you are doing, there's the seeds you are sowing today, you will reap them tomorrow. So if the seeds you are sowing today are bad seeds, you will reap them in 100-fold tomorrow. And be careful who you are insulting today, because maybe the one you are insulting today will be the one who will come and supervise your burial. And be careful who you are blessing today, because probably the one you are blessing today will be the one who will come and supervise your burial and supervise aspects of your life in future. For the children, it is a blessing, even though a death has occurred, because the statutory order, let me borrow the word statutory, or the right order is for children to bury their fathers and mothers, and not for mothers and fathers to bury their children. And so for the 4 children, I believe they are 4.
Put them together, they are 5.
5.
But 4, yes.
Okay.
Directly 4. But
which is the 5th one?
Oh,
I didn't know about that. Okay, but for the children, it is a blessing. It is a blessing because you have your parents gave birth to you, they took care of you, you have lived, you have seen them, you have lived with them, you have enjoyed them, and now you get the opportunity to bury them. It's a blessing. And so they should look at it from that way. So in a nutshell, may Nana Akufo-Addo Rawlings rest in perfect peace. And I think that as a country, it will be only honorable for us to find something national to name after her. I think so.
That's right.
Thank you.
Ibrahim.
Well, so when you look at Nana Akufo-Addo Rawlings' life, many of us who have been around for a while know her as the definition of a first lady. In fact, we grew up to meet her as the standard of how a first lady should be like. So she's a pioneer when it comes to being a first lady. And we were with her for 19 solid years as our first lady. So things she did and how impactful those things were. See, I was born and bred in Ashanti region. Many women in Ashanti region became by default members of NDC without knowing, through 31st December Women Movement. They didn't know that that was an appendage of the NDC because, of course, on paper, it was supposed to be a movement to champion the cause of women. So when they managed to marry it seamlessly, and I'm talking about the 1st December Women Movement, and then the Chairman Rawlings, and then also President Rawlings, and then the National Democratic Congress. It was when, especially Kufuor, became the MPP's candidate, that people were wondering, so there's that dichotomy between 31st December Women Movement and the NDC. So if we are supporting this, then likelihood that we cannot support MPP is there. And then they started drifting. Some of them started drifting. So many people in the Ashanti region, including Katie Amon shared a story, an interesting story with us, that the mother was a kingpin of the 31st December Women Movement. So politically, his opponents used that against him. That his mother was NDC. But in essence, everybody by default in the region, unless you were not interested in women empowerment, you, one way or the other, be associated with the 31st December Women Movement. So that's a political masterstroke. Without knowing, without anybody putting pen to paper and saying that this is how we are going to make NDC endearing to women, the woman did it. So, but of course, in the final analysis, she broke away from the NDC, but you cannot take anything away.
Another bold step.
Another bold step. And that's why when they talk about courage and resilience, because these are the two words that are being championed at her final funeral, right? Yeah. Courage and resilience. And she talked about being bold, right? Another bold move. Politically, I'm not sure those decisions were right, because it turned out not to be right. Now, NDC people are mourning, but they mourn with a bat, right? But one thing she did that was great was to mend her relationship with not just the NPP, but especially the former President Akufo-Addo. In the end, they mended that relationship. Through that, Chairman Rawlings, or for that matter, former President Rawlings, and then even Akufo-Addo mended their relationship. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. And so, yes, we are celebrating a woman of courage. We are celebrating a pioneer. And I agree with Wilberforce when he says, this is the order. Because we have something called running order. Like this morning show, GHToday has a running order. Of course. The running order should always be that you give birth, you cater for your kids, straighten them up, they grow to become responsible adults. And when you bar out, they then lead the charge and see you off. In this case, as a country, we have lost a mother who tended to us. Our own colleague, Nade, is a product of 31st December Women Movement daycare centers. Oh yeah, okay. She is. Attended one of them. We are still grappling with where women can take their children when they go to, say, the Makola market, or when they go to, say, the 31st, what's the name, the Kanisi market. Even corporate institutions that, per the Labour Act, you are supposed to have a daycare center where mothers who are done with their 3 months leave can still bring their kids and then work without any hindrance or interference. We are still grappling with that. Yeah. But way back in the late 80s and early 90s, this woman had thought about this. And market women will strap their kids to their back. When they get to the market, their kids are being attended to in their class, and they are in the market selling. When they are done, they go for them, and then they go home. Hopefully, and you talk about, Wilberforce talk about a monument to permanently immortalize her. Yeah. I think at a point, I don't know whether the movement collapsed, but reviving that movement will be a great legacy to her. And especially...
With one name?
The same name. No, probably with her name. Nana Kunodo Rawlings 31st December Women Movement.
Explain to you.
Yeah, but something. No, I'm sure they will think around it. But that will be a legacy. Because that movement should not die. Yeah. It shouldn't die. Like I said, there are many people who still have memories of the goodness of that movement. And here we're not talking about the coup. We're not talking about the coup d'etat. We are talking about the movement. No, we are not talking about the coup d'etat.
Let me just interrupt you. And it's actually interesting how, we now say Ajmai Rawlings.
Yeah.
the name was actually Rollins.
Yes.
But because of the strength that she brought up, all her children are now called Ajimai Rollins.
Oh, yes.
So it's like a combination of her name, her surname, and the name of the husband.
Exactly.
Then now becomes the name that the children will now use.
Yes.
You know, so it just tells you the force that existed between these two personalities. The bond.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. She simply she was an enigma, to be honest. Like I said, she's defined the offices of the First Lady. And unfortunately, we have to judge all the others by her standards.
Of course, she raised the bar.
So
she set the pace.
Yeah, if we were too calm, we were like, you see? Yes, because she was fiery. And at the point we're told that, Charlie, you guys forget, she's in charge.
She's the president.
She's the president, right? Yes. But you see, it tells you how courageous she was and how involved she was.
Yeah.
You see? And so, yes, we can only say that she came, she saw, she delivered.
And she conquered.
She conquered. Yeah.
Absolutely.
She didn't just deliver, she conquered.
Yes. And that's the legacy we're talking about. A woman who really defined a lot with her personality, and today we are bidding farewell to her, and intermittently we'll be crossing over to the Black Star Square to bring you updates on the funeral as well. But while at that, we would have to come back in studio and continue the conversations because a lot has been raging. And I would like, last week we started the conversation somehow, and I remember even this week I've had politicians in studio who have also given their takes on the matter, and it looks like from their perspective it's more of, if these are the rules and you choose to go there, abide by the rules, simplicity. But then I don't know what your thoughts are. Let me start with you, Audu, on this whole issue with what people have now termed religious discrimination, among others, in senior high schools.
It's because I'm a Muslim, I find it very difficult. Today I will be able to express myself freely if I were in a traditional African. I will be able to express myself fire on the way I want to fire. But as a Muslim, I just have to be very cautious in what I say. I think there is lack of clarity between the relationship between government and these mission schools. There's lack of clarity. What is that relation? What is it about? It's who owns these schools? Who is actually in charge of these schools? Who has the authority to dictate or to direct what goes on in these schools? I think that these are issues that we need to define clearly. If we know who for now, even though these mission schools were set up by these churches, we need to know now, because of the relationship that they have, who now controls these schools, who has the power to direct what goes on in these schools, and all that. If we're able to state this clearly, then we'll have a way of solving this problem. But for now, I think that it is a confused system that we are running. On one hand, government says that it is in charge of these schools because they have taken over. On the other hand, these churches say that we have built our schools based on our religious principles, and our principles must hold sway. So there's this disturbing confusion that has been coming up. But I feel sad because of the way things are happening to say that because you build up build your school to propagate a certain agenda, that agenda must continue, even though under this dispensation things have changed. And even though the relationship, the total control that you used to have is no longer in existence, and yet you want to be in charge the way you want to have. Now, government is paying the teachers there. Government is doing so much in these schools, and yet government appears to be powerless in what happens in this school. I see that to be baffling. Look, I do not see why, if a church establishes a school, now it's an educational institution. It is not a church. Unless the schools want to tell us that If you establish a church, then the school becomes a church, and therefore all things that happen in Methodist church must automatically happen in the school. If you want to extend the church into the school, that should be made clear. That if you are coming to Wesley Girls High Senior School, you should know that you are coming to Methodist church as a Muslim. So that I, as a Muslim, if I have my child, I will not go there because my child will be going to church. But if you say it's an educational institution that impacts knowledge, then by our constitution, we should not discriminate I should be able to take my child as a Muslim to Wesley Girls in our house for her to get education knowledge. So if you tell me that because my child is a Muslim, it comes to your school, so to say, that you should not practice her religion, it means that you are simply telling listen, you have come to Methodist church. And in Methodist church, you do what the church does. Is that what the churches are portraying? I do not see why, if you have a church, it's an educational system. And every educational system, by the rules of GES, Ghana Education Service, they are code of ethics. And there are morals that each and every student, whether it's an Islamic school, whether it's a Catholic school, whether in all that, there's a form of thing that the school must impact in terms of morals and all that. And therefore, the school has its own rules and also, regardless of which religious affiliation that you belong. Therefore, if you are in that school, the code of conduct of the school itself will guide you how to be morally upright, not just being a religious person. The school will guide you how to be morally upright and to live to be a proper human being and not to be a nuisance or an anomaly in society. That's how it should be. But if you say that, look, and I'm so sad to see the letter written by the Cali Bishops Conference and the Christian Council of Ghana, to the extent that, look, you cannot, you also have Islamic schools. So if you choose to come to this thing, you must obey what my religious beliefs are. You should strictly obey them. I think that's not elegant. That is not fair.
Right.
That's not good enough. Look, we have lived in this country peacefully. Once I was coming, I heard IB on radio say that we are pretending. I have always talked about pretension of these Ghanaians. Yeah. We pretend so much to love one another, or each other, one another, love ourselves. But I think that is like a facade. What is happening? We do it outwardly, but within us, we don't believe it. Because, why? A Muslim, and for God's sake, I have heard that people say that people are advocating that if you come there, there should be a mosque in a secondary school. Nobody does that. Look, if you are Muslim, Muslims will not actually, as a Muslim, I don't need to go to a mosque before I pray. It is a best practice. But if I'm traveling, I can park my car by the roadside. If you go to my car, I have everything in my car. So when it's time for prayers, I can pray anywhere. And one thing about us, it is not about I attend this mosque. Any mosque that you enter, nobody will ask you which mosque you belong and all that. Any mosque we enter. And one thing, and if you live with Muslims, even our Ramadan, if I go and people are eating during fasting, I don't ask them, I just go and join and start eating. And none will ask me, where are you from? That's how the religion is. Because every religion believes that once you are part of religion, you are brothers. Yeah. And that's how our Islam actually teaches us to cohabit with other religious faiths. That's what, if you look at the teachings of the Holy Prophet, when people were, that's how it should be. And I believe that there are people, and that is why me as a Muslim, majority of my friends are Christians. Right. I go to their houses to eat. Some come to my house to eat, and that's how we have lived. Okay. But with this kind of thing, I think that we are a country where religions live side by side, they practice side by side. But what you are telling me, What they are saying now is that if you're a Muslim, you come to Wesley Girls or any mission school or any church school built by the church, you cannot even practice your own religion. Look, what is it all whole thing about?
Right.
Muslims, one of the pillars of this is that you have to fast. And fasting is compulsory for every Muslim. It's not like Hajj where that one is if you are able to afford. Fasting is something that is obligatory for all Muslims. If you are Muslim, you must fast. Unless you are sick.
You're pregnant.
Even if you are sick, you have days that you pay. You pay the debt.
You make up for it.
You make up for it. If you are traveling and you cannot fast, you make up for it. So that is it is very important in the practice of Islam. Ramadan is very important. That is something that, look, everything that God doesn't, to our belief, God doesn't forgive. This is something that God holds so much when it comes to fasting.
Right.
So if a Muslim, in the school, and by the way, people do not know, they are Muslims by the age of 7, they become used to the fasting. By age of 7 up, they become used to fasting. Nothing can stop them from it. They don't even feel it when they are fasting. And therefore, if a student is about 12, 13, 14 years in school and says, I want to fast, you then determine that the person must not fast. The person, even to break, the person decides that, look, I will not go to the hall to eat. Is it compulsory for the person to go and eat when the person doesn't want to eat? Even if the person was not fasting or is not fasting and goes to the hall and says that I will not eat, would you force the person to eat?
Right.
How much more fasting?
Okay.
And that, look, so as I said, we need to define the relationship between government and the church to clearly define who actually is in charge.
Okay.
Because probably this is coming out because the education minister made definitive statement as who is in charge and all religious faith must be respected in schools. And they have responded. Right. I want to see the response of government and they will forward in this matter. If not, if we don't settle this matter in a way that it should be, look, we will live to regret it in this country. We don't want to go the right of other countries where our neighbors here, just what is happening in Nigeria and all that. We should avoid things that will degenerate into chaos.
Wilberforce.
Well, so I got some education. Yeah. So let me try and see if I can put it across. So there is this issue about universalism, which has to be the fact that human rights are universal and they are applicable. So based on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Then there is also another theory that talks about cultural relativism, where it is like human rights must be juxtaposed with the people's culture and the people's beliefs, and that there is no one size fits all. So these two theories are competing. So you go to the typical Islamic world and they don't believe in all the pronouncements in the fundamental human rights, the Declaration of Human Rights. They don't believe in all of them because they think that some of them are not culturally acceptable. Yeah. And then you go to other places and they say that as for us, everything that is in the Declaration of Human Rights, we accept it hook, line, and sinker. So these two competing principles are there and they fight across the world. Thankfully, Ghana is a secular state. So we don't have extremes where you have one Christian extreme and Muslim or Islamic extreme. We are secular, so we accept both, and we are supposed to be living together peacefully. So, bringing this into the Methodist issue, two issues in our country come to mind, or maybe even three. First has to do with
yes. It's not just Methodist.
Yes.
Now it is the church.
The church. Okay.
Because if you look at the statement, it's not just Methodist.
Okay.
It's a Christian Council.
Okay.
And a Catholic Bishops Conference.
So so I'll address it. Okay. So it brings three issues to bear. The first has to do with this issue about ban on drumming and dancing, which we deal with as a country every year.
In August, mostly.
In August, yes. You always see the Ghana traditional saying that we are going to observe Homo, so all churches don't drum. 1 month ban. And you will see customary practice coming or crashing with religious activity. And the religious sect is forced to stop the drumming and dancing just to appease the customary requirements. Do you get it? Okay. Then we also see the case of Tyrone. Is it Tyrone Magai?
Magai, yes.
The Tyrone Magai case, where
the
Achimota Rasta case, where the guy says that keeping dreadlocks is my religion. It's part of my religious belief. And so you cannot tell me that because I'm coming to the school, I cannot observe my religion. And so I should go and cut off my hair before I can come to the school. When that case went to the court held that, yes, the young man has religious rights. And part of his religious rights is to have dreadlocks. You cannot ask him to cut it because he's coming to your school. Do you get it?
Yeah.
That was what the court said. There was also another case of Kwabena Bomfe.
Yes.
Who went to court, and he went with an issue about the government providing land for the National Cathedral and also supporting Hajj.
Yes.
The court told him that there is a direct link between government and religion.
Yeah.
And you cannot bring an application to the court and say that let's divide the two, as if the two live in separate worlds. They don't live in separate worlds. They live together. Mm-hmm. They join together. They take decisions together. Today, if you go to the Independence Square, you will see religious leaders from both sides attending the funeral together at the same place.
From 3 sides.
From 3 sides, at the same place, sitting together. We don't say that the Muslim leaders should go and sit on the left, the Christian leaders should go and sit on the right. They sit together. That is the kind of country we have. So, in light of these 3 issues that I've mentioned, and in light of the issue about universalism and cultural relativism, I do not, under any circumstance, see how the Methodist Church or the Christian Council will succeed in any action that they are bringing to the court about this matter. You have a school. The school was established by the Methodist Church. But it is a school. It is not a church. It is a school. The school is for the children of Ghana. By all means, the children of Ghana will be made up of people who are Christians, people who are Muslims. Even in the Christian religion, there are Pentecostals, there are Charismatics, there are Presbyterians, there are Catholics. Yeah. We all have different things we do. I don't do sign of the cross because I'm not a Catholic. I don't hold a rosary because I'm not a Catholic. I'm a charismatic. I do things that charismatics do that if you go to the Catholic Church, you will see. Yes. So if I'm a charismatic and I come to the Methodist school and you tell me that I can't practice my charismatism and that I must be a Methodist by force, by fire, I don't get it. So quite frankly, my submission on this matter is that yes, there is universalism. Yes, there is cultural relativism. But as a country, we are a secular state. And there is precedent in our law to show that if I am a Muslim and I have chosen to come to a school that was established by the Methodist Church, it does not automatically take away the fact that I'm a Muslim. It does not. Under no circumstance. Do you say that because I have chosen to come to a Methodist school, I can no longer be a Muslim? I mean, come on.
As we said, unless you want to tell us that the school is automatically the church.
No, well,
no. And the same way that there's the same way that if I am a Christian and I choose to go to a school established by an Islamic institution, the Islamic institution cannot tell me that because I have chosen to come to a school established by an Islamic institution, I no longer am a Christian. and that I cannot practice my Christianity because I've come to the campus. So I should wait. When I leave the campus, I can become a Christian. But as long as I'm on the campus, I'm a Muslim. How does that happen?
Interesting.
You cannot tell me that. You cannot, under no circumstance, tell me that. So please.
IB will be talking. IB lives in TI. He's been lived in Kumasi all his life. I don't know what happens in TI.
Because you see, the arguments I've also heard from those who do not agree with the both of you, and I'm sure the three of you, is that if we do this, we are opening the floodgates. So next time you see someone who says, okay, I'm a traditionalist, so I'm coming to school, I'll bring my gin and eggs, I have to pour libation, because, then if you're building a mosque, then let's build a shrine. And that has been another argument.
I think the educational system, GS has code of conduct, rules governing all schools, that you must not do it. It doesn't.
But that's my religion. My religion says I should pour libation.
Yes.
So I come with schnapps, because in the morning I have to pour libation to the gods.
Yeah. Of course, I've heard that.
But do you do that? Do you come and do that in the
open?
Do you come and do that in the? If you are practicing your religion,
yes.
When Alaji is my one of my best friends. If we are in a meeting and he says I'm going to pray, he excuses himself, finds a place, does his prayer, while I am sitting there waiting. Whilst I am sitting there waiting, I'm also speaking in my tongues.
Yes, exactly.
Nobody fights anybody.
Yes.
Come on, man.
So the way Alaji will carry his mat and his buta, the traditional guys who would like to bring.
No, but I'll do it in a manner that
and he's not going to pour libation in the full play of the school.
Let me answer. And I've heard, and I know you play the devil's advocate.
Oh no, please, I don't sell for the devil.
No, but you see, I always tell people, no, but he should be careful.
Oh no.
I tell people, I tell people that who plays devil's advocate that if you don't take time, one day you become the devil. So be very careful.
See, I've heard
that's the argument
out
there.
One other one is a young lady who is a lawyer, right? Who relates to the fact that when you go to the law school, there are dictates as to how you should carry yourself, how you should dress, right? I'm a governor is one typical example of how the system forced her to do the needful before she was called to the bar and many other things, right? And unfortunately, I say you are comparing apples to oranges, right? And Wilberforce rightly, and we've on this platform repeatedly said the determined case at the Supreme Court. It's what should guide all of us. The gentleman was wearing dreads, went to court because Achimota said no dress in our school. And his argument was that I'm wearing dress on religious grounds. The Supreme Court says, okay, if it's your religion that mandates you to wear dreads, then you should be allowed to acquire education. So that should not be a hindrance. It should not be impediment on your way. That is one. The other leg of the argument is, and I will do related to it perfectly. We are a bunch of hypocrites in this country. Trust me. See, I've read the Christian Council Calais Bishops Conference statement. I've read the one from the Anglicans, right? I've read the one from the Pentecostals and Charismatic Council. I've just yesterday read one from the Muslims.
You have to send me that one.
I've read the one from the Muslims.
Right? Send me all of it.
Yes.
I've read one from the Muslims. We are a bunch of hypocrites in this country. See, we pretend we love each other, but we don't. Fundamentally, what all these statements are saying is that it's either our way or the highway.
Or no way.
The highway, you can go and kill yourself. You heard them say, go to the Muslim schools.
Yeah.
So you are too poor to build schools. We have built the schools. What are you doing here? That's it.
No.
Oh gosh. See,
have you read the statement?
Let's call a spade.
That
a
don't
spade.
come to. If you,
see,
they are
we
schools,
pretend that we love each other. We
to.
don't. In our closet, the things we say about each other, see, we don't. Let's not pretend. If Islamic school like TIMAS is one of the gay schools in the country, and the dictate is that Adwala Demko, when they were there, it was compulsory for them to enter the mosque. I will sit here and condemn it. If the dictate is that it's compulsory for them to wear veil, I will sit here and condemn it. I'm told that unless you are an Ahmadi, you will not be allowed to be a school prefect. That's bad, and I condemn it. But I also condemn the Catholic Church because it doesn't allow anybody else to head the Catholic school if you are not a Catholic. I condemn it. That's discrimination. You get the point.
But that one, if it's a small part,
coming.
That one cry
I'm coming.
It's acceptable.
Then Wesley girls, you tell me that don't fast. Yes, that's a blanket caveat. Don't fast. When you tell a Muslim not to fast, and that's why I understand when they say that when you were coming to the school, when you were choosing Wesley Girls, you knew that it's a mission school. Well, I knew it's a mission school, but the emphasis is on school.
Not a church.
The emphasis is on school.
Because even Christians fast.
Again,
Ironically.
I sat here and I told you that I won't send my daughter to Wesley Girls. Because the very day you tell my daughter not to fast, you are telling her to cease
to be a Muslim.
Being a Muslim.
That's it.
And that I will not allow. So I won't. But you see, that's me. I will also not allow a secular state that we find ourselves in for another Muslim family that wants the daughter to go to Wesley Girls not to have the opportunity just because the church says the school is ours and we insist that we will make your daughter a non-Muslim as long as she is in our school.
No, in Islam, if you say somebody should not fast, you are virtually telling the person not to be a Muslim.
Right. Now, if you look at our constitution, and they are right in saying that institutions equally have rights. Yes, it's true. You establish a school. The school has a purpose. Yes, before the government came in, the purpose of the schools, and we are not oblivious of that fact, is once you go through a Catholic school, you should exit as a Catholic. If you were a Catholic before and your faith was shaky, you should exit with a very foundational faith. But now, unless it's a convent, that cannot be the case. If it's a convent, the convent is meant to churn out nuns, Roman fathers, and what have you. So any Muslim who goes to a convent and say, I have my Buddha, allow me to pray, it's not a sane Muslim. Because the purpose of going to a convent is for you to be trained in a certain way, for you to turn out a certain way. But when they go to Wesley Girls, they are not going to a convent.
Right.
When they go to CAS, run by the Anglicans, they are not going to a religious organization to be converted.
I want you to mention Pope John's because we know people who have come out from
Presec has a mosque there.
I said Pope John's.
I'm coming. Let me use your school example. Presec has a mosque.
The good example, yes. Presec
has a mosque.
We do have a mosque.
In the statement from the Catholic bishops and the Christian Council, they talk about the Wesley Girls becoming an envy. No, they talk about the fact that the mission schools have become an envy because of these strict principles. Well, newsflash. If we are to use the National Science and Maths quiz, Presec trumps everybody. They have a mosque there.
8-star generals.
When was the last time Wesley featured prominently? No, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a spade a spade. Because if the argument is that it is to ensure good academic performance, then I think respecting somebody's right to just observe a prayer. Because you said, don't fast. We won't reserve your food for you. We won't allow you to come to dining at a determined time for you because you want it to favor you. The girl said, no problem. We'll find out, we'll eat biscuits and fast. Then you deploy snitches on them. That when they find them observing suhoor, which is mandatory for you to start your fast at dawn, they should be reported. How callous can you get? And that's why I say we are a bunch of hypocrites. We preach that we love each other. Oh, come on, Muslims are good. Oh, Christians, allow them. We all love them until they come to our space. So we love our Christian friends until they invade our space. We love our Muslim friends until they come and say, can I get a place to pray? Is that what we are telling each other?
Right.
So yes, the solution is a simple one. The state must give guidelines.
Right.
If you employ teachers, if you construct classrooms and dining rooms, you provide infrastructure, and you resource the schools, albeit an arrangement with mission schools who are the original owners. Let's have a definition as to what anybody else from a different religion can do and cannot do. Okay. Simple.
Okay.
See, I understand the emotions. I understand the emotions flying all around because this is a needless conversation. In 21st century, this is not a conversation we should be having, right?
True.
But there is no way any judge at the Supreme Court, any justice at the Supreme Court will say that if you are Nkanka and you go to Wesley Girls, the school is empowered to strip you of your Nkanka belief. No court will turn out that judgment because it will be an affront to our constitution. So it's not the solution from the court that I'm looking for. It's about our psyche and the way we are thinking. And it's become very apparent in the last 1 week. The vitriol many people are pouring on social media. The baseless argument that many people are advancing. People of respect, of repute in society, that go and build your schools. Okay, it's a message to you people. Go and build schools as well. It's good.
No, I think that we should also, this is a wake-up call to even also the Muslim community.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think we are so much interested in trivialities. We are so much interested in holidays. The government has given us holidays and we jump and you celebrate. That's mediocrity. Look, if we are looking at empowering ourselves, we should also, with this kind of thing going on, I think there should be self-introspection about what we need as Muslims, whether we also want to educate our kids in a manner that nobody will be.
But it's a country that loses. See, everybody who has sat here, Joshua, has shared a beautiful story of Muslims that they met in school.
Yeah.
My best friends are Christians, right? If we go that binary, Muslims go to Muslim schools, Christians go to Christian schools.
But
it's the country that
that is a path people are
yes,
setting.
it's a country that
and
that's not a path
country.
that we can even pursue.
That's very dangerous for this country.
I'm sitting here and I'm quite worried.
Yeah.
I am too.
I am quite worried about this path. And I think that consciously, our religious leaders, I'm a very religious person.
Yeah. I know.
I'm a very, very religious person. I am a Christian through and through. Yeah. And I am an uncompromising Christian, if you ask me. But my very good friends, in
fact, from here, from
Ibrahim,
here, from here,
Mutala, Razak.
Yeah.
Do you see how many names?
From here, myself and Wilberforce, we have a base.
Yeah.
From here to here, we'll be going there.
You get it?
And sometimes we live there late.
So
late in the night.
Education can never be used to divide us. Yeah. See, if you look at
religion, you say education.
Education and religion.
Okay.
It's very much education and religion. If you look at our secondary school system, over the years, our secondary school system has actually played a pivotal role in our socialization as a country.
Yes. Yeah.
It's our secondary school system that has brought us the kind of religious tolerance that we have in our country.
Yes.
And so you take somebody like the current Minister for the Interior, Mutaka, and Napo.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
The two of them
best of friends.
Are very good friends. Yeah. They belong to two different political parties, two different religions, but they grew up together as brothers because of school. Yeah. Mutaka was living in the house, I'm told, of Napo's father. They were they were sleeping in the same room, also in the same house. And so it is our secondary school system that has helped us to socialize. And this socialization, we cannot in the 21st century, 2025, now stand up to come
AI world.
Yeah, in the era of artificial intelligence. And for me, biblical intelligence. Maybe you can also say Quranic intelligence. QI and BI and AI. Whichever one you want, we cannot at this time come and divide ourselves with it. Please, with the greatest of respect, serious respect to all our religious leaders from the Catholic bishops and please rethink this issue, and that under no circumstance should we say that because God gave us grace as a Catholic Church to build a school, somebody from another religion cannot come to that school.
No,
that is not God.
Because the Bible says that if it depends on you, live peaceably with all men.
As much as it's possible.
It's possible.
Live peaceably with all men.
That is it.
So I think we need a rethink of this matter.
Right.
And look, even at the political level, we've gotten to the place where in the coming election, 2028 election, whichever, all the two political parties, irrespective of who becomes the presidential candidate, we are going to have a ticket that will be Muslim Christian.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
Yes. Irrespective of who becomes presidential candidate. And so, look, at the very national level, we are trying to promote unity and coexistence.
Yeah.
Diversity.
We cannot divide in the secondary school.
No, we cannot.
We cannot.
And that's the question we need to put out.
Is it not beautiful? Because of this religious diversity and unity and all that, the national chief imam in his 100th birthday celebrated it in the Catholic Church. Is it not because of this unity that we must coexist as a country and respect one another, each other, as a state, so that we live peacefully? I think we cannot go beyond this.
And I think I also support one thing that Ibrahim said. We've allowed emotions to get in the way of common sense. Because releasing statements of this nature, I don't think, with the benefit of hindsight, our leaders would realize that there was nothing wrong. In fact, there's a lot of things. There are a lot of things wrong with the statements.
I am a capitalist, but sometimes
the Methodists have just issued a statement that they are not party to the case, but per what they have monitored, inferably they cannot trust the AG. So they are in touch with their lawyers to also join the case to go and defend the interests of the Methodist Church.
Wow.
I put it on the platform. It's on the GHToday platform. So,
look,
because on this set we have two Christians, two Muslims.
Yes.
We are talking about Ghana. It's not about Assemblies of God. It's not about Victory Bible.
I have listened to people from across political divide, and there's one common thing. That this one is not about politics, it's about the unity of this country. And they all, even listen to almost all well-meaning Ghanaians on this topic, they are talking about religious diversity and also respect for other religious faiths. Look, I am a capitalist, but I am tempted to believe Karl Marx, and I love that man. If you come to, he is a founder, the father of conflict theory. When he said that religion is the opium of the masses. In fact, religion actually, not just Christians, not just Muslims, all religions. Religion actually intoxicates. It's like opium. Now, when you take, you are intoxicated. And that's what religion is doing to us. And this is something that the man said, Karl Marx said centuries, many years ago, and we are still living with it. I think that we should move away from this.
And that's what I said. I mean, my issue
like even learned people are...
Yesterday, I told you that my disappointment was in the Catholic bishops joining the fray. Because if there is any Christian sect that's very tolerant of Muslims, by miles, is the Catholic Church.
Look,
see, the Vatican.
I said it openly.
Vatican has granted a prayer room for Muslims.
In the Vatican.
And I'll send you the story. In the Vatican.
And the Pope, the new Pope, decided to go to on his first trip. He decided to go to Turkey.
Yes.
Turkey, and I think he's in Turkey and he's leaving Turkey to go to Lebanon or something of that sort. See,
look, I always tell people that if I were going to be a Christian, the possible distant sect I would have been a Catholic.
It's the
because of where I grew up in the north. The majority of Christians in the northern part of this country are Catholics. And I would have been a Catholic. And if you look at Catholics and Muslims actually have a lot in common. A lot. Look, they do.
I'm confused by the statement from the Methodists. Honestly, because
what
I'm reading.
Does the statement say?
It's very confusing. Honestly, and I must be. I'm trying to make sense of it. It's not working for me. So, in one breath, it says that we recognize and respect the constitutional right of every student to practice her faith or non-faith within the framework of Wesley Girls High School traditions. However, to create a parallel system where some students of different faith groups eat, sleep, wake, study, and live separately would inevitably lead to segregation and undermine the cohesion and collective traditions of the school.
Wait. It's, in fact, if you go on, it may generate into something. Look.
No, but the statement that's out.
By the way, Muslims, girls, do they sleep separately?
No, you're talking about the month of Ramadan. So that for that 30 days.
For that 30 days.
That they wake up at dawn before, let's say, 4:30 a.m.
And eat differently.
Just observe the suhoor. And then at 6 p.m., when it's time for them to break their fast, that's what they describe as parallel system.
How?
Of sleeping and waking up and studying at different times. Meanwhile, the classrooms. Anyway.
We all went to boarding school. Sometimes, look, that's what I'm saying. We all went to boarding schools. And sometimes the time you sleep, why?
And it says that all that the school requires of admitted students is respect for its traditions and adherence to an established framework carefully designed from its inception to foster unity, discipline, academic excellence, uniformity, and shared experience. As student population grows and diversity increases, it becomes even more imperative to maintain a coherent structure that allows all students to live, study, worship, eat, and participate in school life in a manner that is orderly, manageable, and fair.
But there's a conflict in the statement.
Exactly.
That's why I said I'm confused.
The conflict in the statement is that you are saying that as diversity grows, if diversity is growing, then you cannot be seen narrowing down to make everybody conform to one particular structure, because you yourself are saying that diversity is growing. So I think that they need to relook at their statement. Diversity is diversity. You cannot put diversity into one box and make diversity look like a single thing. So if you are admitting that diversity is growing, then it means that the school itself must also be dynamic in how to embrace the diversity. And that is one of the things that is a reality. As a country, we have chosen to be secular. As we grow, as the diversity increases, as the secularism increases, you must make room. You must make room. You know, if you don't make room, then it means that you are not acknowledging that there is diversity. But that's what's happening.
And that's why I get worried.
Yeah.
For the Catholics especially, joining the fray, because the Vatican, which is like the holiest of holies of places for the Catholic Church, there's a prayer room for Muslims. And then
so they envisage that there'll be Muslims who
they say when you go to Rome, do what the Romans do. Well, the Romans have given us a mosque.
So is it a mosque that has been created for people who work at the Vatican?
The library. For Muslim scholars who visit there.
You come,
when it's time for prayer, just
there's a room for you to go.
And they will not force you to go and worship with them.
No.
That is it.
I don't know.
It's just a room. When it's time for you,
I don't know whether we
have.
I don't know after all this. After all our exposure, after all our development, all our tolerance, I don't know whether we should be using our school system to go this route. I honestly don't know.
It's an archaic system.
Very unfortunate.
I'm very disturbed though. I am extremely disturbed.
Because I honestly did not know about how these things work. Because way back in Presec, we have a mosque where Muslims go and pray. So what we come for is assembly. And that is for every student.
Assembly is for every student.
But then when it comes to the religious duties, they know where to go and pray. So sometimes we are going while we are going to the assembly hall for service, Charlie, we will meet there, then they go to the mosque, go pray.
And you see,
and they had an imam.
Even in the schools, like the church, you have the Presbyterian group, you have the Catholic group. When it's time for prayer, they all go to their groups.
I don't know how that takes away anything
about education.
We are actually majoring in the minors.
Anyway.
With this thing.
They are measuring in the
because this does not affect the education. Churn out students who are
well
rounded.
It's
even nice to say that the students who get out of secondary schools are able to relate with people of other religions. That is the fundamental way to even grow and become very tolerant religiously. Anyways,
IB says something. I think that school is not the only school.
Okay. You know what? So let's simmer down a bit because I know emotions will be getting in place right now.
I have a young daughter.
We still have a funeral. We still have a funeral ongoing, and so let's cross over to the Black Star Square, where the grandchildren of Nana Kodjo Adjman Rawlings are reading a tribute in her honor.
Knew how to live. Now it is our turn to follow her lead. Thank you.
Dearly beloved, now we respectfully invite the sisters to present their tribute. Tribute by sisters. Thank you. On behalf of the sisters of Nana Kodjo Adjman Rawlings, where do I begin to tell the story of how great love can be? The sweet love story that is older than the sea.
the simple truth of the love she brings to me. Where do I start? How and when do we begin to tell the story of our great and dear sister Nana Konadu? She was our trailblazer from the time we met her in our lives. She was not the older sister, but by divine arrangement, while our oldest sister was at the time in boarding school, Nana Konadu slipped into that role and wore the mantle of a leader. As we grew up, and for as long as we've known her, she's always been the one who mobilized us all. Her mobilization gift was extended at the time to most neighborhood kids living in the Accra Ridge area. Our neighborhood kids were all offsprings of the first civil servants of the First Republic of Ghana. With these friends, we formed the Feather Club, and our sister, Nana Konadu, led us in performing plays, organized other activities such as the lemonade stands to raise money for the Red Church Fund.
We pause briefly to acknowledge the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagben.
The beauty of her talents was as fascinating as we grew up, and she taught us so many things, including ballet dancing, sewing our own clothes as we grew older, and generally being there for us in many aspects of our lives. She was the big sister who guided us through life's turbulence and stood to fight battles if she realized someone was treating us unfairly. She was the example we followed as our lives were being molded by our parents, and set us straight when she thought we were out of line, but learned to negotiate her standpoint with our parents to get them to understand our viewpoint. Her generosity was a gift she extended beyond her siblings, giving of herself to make others better. This, in a nutshell, describes a sister as we grew up. Such a beautiful soul. Nana Konadu was our role model, and we aspired to be like her. She was trendy, be it in music, new dances, or fashion. She had a passion for culture and showed a vivid interest in the arts. This was demonstrated in her participation in plays and operas while in the Ghana International School as well as Achimota School. Her childhood abilities and capabilities are clearly the tools that molded her and gave her the courage to embark into a life of political activism. She exhibited characteristics of her upbringing in everything she did in her daily life: courage, honesty, compassion, empathy, generosity, and more. These characteristics and the good education we received make up the most important legacies our parents left us. During her political life, our sister showed strength, courage, and resilience in the midst of adversity. It is amazing where she got her energy from. In all those difficult years, she still managed to be a mother and raise 4 children. She proved over and over again that yes, a woman can indeed do it all. This encouraged a lot of women in this country because they saw their strength in her. Yes, so where do we begin to tell her story? She told her story throughout her deliberations in life and made us proud all along in everything she did.
We pause once again to acknowledge the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman.
So, well, we are back in the studio. Wilberforce, I will do, and Ibrahim Al-Hassan. Like we said, today we are also dedicating our coverage as well to Nana Konadu Rawlins's final funeral rites, and so intermittently we'll be crossing over to get more details on that. But let me come back to Ibrahim Al-Hassan. The Kwandai MP matters arising.
Yes.
On Monday, we saw that order from the High Court in Tamale, and then following that, we've seen so much happen.
Yeah.
Minority, in fact, majority side of Parliament says that, well, per the ruling or the order from the court, the Kmanda MP, Matthew Nyindam, ceases to be MP. In fact, Roxanne Nelson at a point was clear that he should be escorted out of the House because he's not an MP. What is he doing on the floor to join MPs to talk about the budget? Meanwhile, that day he was scheduled to even make a contribution to the budget as well. And Speaker gave the ruling. He gave clarity to the matter yesterday, among others. Talk to me.
Yes. So the unfortunate thing is that Martin Nyindam might never get the opportunity to debate the budget, not this one or subsequent one, ever in this 9th Parliament. That's the unfortunate thing. But as at the time, he was stopped from contributing to the debate, per what the Speaker has told us. And yesterday, Charles Bawodua had related to the fact that the 7-day window has always been there. When High Court judgments are handed down, the assumption is that you are likely to appeal if you are dissatisfied. So you are given 7-day window. Within that window, the judgment cannot be enforced. So it's a statutory stay of execution. If you're able to file within that 7 days, right, then you get a date for hearing. If you add the appeal with an application for stay of execution, that will equally be heard. If that is granted, then the status quo will remain. So per the 7-day statutory window, come December 1, Martin Nyindam will automatically cease to be a member of Parliament. But until then, he's still a member of Parliament. So 2 days ago when he went to debate, he ought to have been allowed to debate.
So what Eche did clearly was to violated the rights of Matthew Nyindam.
Yes, but Speaker equally, and I'm sure Speaker had to equally do some reading, because Speaker sent a message to the second Deputy Speaker who was in the chair to freeze the matter, right? That's to allow him make a ruling. In freezing the matter, it also meant that yesterday it was left to only the leaders to debate, right? So Martin Nyindam, he never even showed up yesterday. He was not in Parliament yesterday. But nonetheless, I will want to see what comes out of the appeal. Because I can sit here and tell you that if there's any window of opportunity for Martin Nyindam to remain a member of Parliament, it's either from the court. I've followed by-elections. And by-election, with a government in power less than 1 year old, and with a constituency that has largely been NDC, chances are NDC will take the seat if the rerun is done. I tell you this because we've covered by-election.
I mean, we spoke to Matthew Nyindam on the platform, and he mentioned as well that, listen, it's not as though he's scared of a rerun, but if you are a political watcher, you know what happens with reruns. The whole government machinery would be focused on that particular constituency, and that's he described it as an unfair abuse of incumbency that happens with any government when there's a rerun.
Yes. Yesterday on the same platform when. No, that's 2 days ago when we really engaged him. He related to the same facts, that he believes that he won legitimately with 3,700 votes in excess, right? Now, the High Court says otherwise. I want to hear from the Court of Appeal, right? But I've heard John Tuwa say that he should just go ahead and start campaigning. But as a political watcher, I can tell you that if he doesn't get favorable judgment from the Court of Appeal, that seat has returned to the
And that's where the minority also has a problem, because if you want to appeal, and I'm not a legal person, I would not pretend to be, maybe Wilberforce will give us clarity, that you need the full reasoning of the court to be able to properly appeal.
No,
right.
Not necessarily.
Necessarily.
You can indicate that you have additional
exactly. But then that particular ruling we are expecting today, the reasoning today, which gives you what? Just Monday, when, of course.
Exactly. So that's why.
And that's why the minority has a problem to say that, well, he would need all of these things. And the judge says, you know what, give me 4 days to give my reasoning, only to know that the expiration, and it's not 7 working days, it's 7 days, which means the weekend is also part. So by Monday, it's almost done.
Yeah, but that's why he has a
to do what? Yeah. There are 7 days to do what?
To file an appeal.
File an appeal, but the enforcement of the judgment. Of
that's
the
what the speaker is saying.
Yes, that's what the speaker
is.
There's a 7-day window. So within that 7-day window, you cannot curtail or you cannot enforce the ruling.
Yes, but but the best of my understanding, once there's an appeal that has been filed by the
and
affected
a stay
party,
has also been filed,
and a stay of execution.
Yes,
respecting it is important. So both sides have to respect it. So Parliament will probably be served with the...
Parliament has been served already.
They've been served with the judgment.
The judgment, yes. The order from the court.
The order from the court.
Orders from the court,
yes.
Okay. So if they've been served, yes, but the Parliament will also now have been served with the appeal and the stay of execution.
Well, that they've not given.
But they argue that unless it's granted,
it's not stay.
It's a notice of a filing of a stay or just mere filing doesn't grant it. It's not an injunction. This is a stay.
Well, yes. So yes, I think so. Yeah. But once it will be served, because we are all trying to respect the rule of law, you respect those things.
The processes.
They are processes. You just give respect to them. We have been in this country where, for example, I think it was there was one particular incident where the speaker himself said that there was a pending application. Because of that, he would hold on. I think it was GHToday.
Yes.
It was GHToday's issue, where there was a clear order that he cannot hold himself as MP. Mm-hmm. The speaker said that an appeal has been filed, and so he was waiting for the appeal decision before he. So the speaker never declared that seat.
They never notify EC.
You get it. So we have had precedent, and it cannot be different. What is good for the goods, they say it's also good for the what? Exactly. So we cannot see this speaker departing from his position in the GHToday case and having a different position.
Don't be so sure.
No, if he departs from his position,
all right.
Then it tells us.
Let me just quickly interrupt you. President John Dramani Mahama and his wife Lodina Mahama have just arrived at the Black Star Square, as you can see on your screens. And we know that while the president arrives, clearly there would be that indication of a continuous run of the program there. And so we're bringing you live pictures from the Black Star Square, where President John Dramani Mahama has officially arrived for the final funeral rites of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. And he's currently exchanging pleasantries with the family, the children of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, as well as her immediate family. And you can clearly tell it's an atmosphere clearly where people are mourning, but then also celebrating the life of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. And so, yes, live pictures from the grounds currently. President Mahama exchanging pleasantries now with the Member of Parliament for Kwale Clote, Dr. Zaneto Agyeman-Rawlings as well. So yes, still funeral still underway, and more tributes will be read, and we'll also continue with the program there. And two words IB mentioned, talked about earlier: courage, resilience. The two words used to describe the woman whose life we're celebrating today, who lays in state. And the entire country is mourning the passing of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, and shortly we'll go back to the Black Star Square. But let's come back in studio, and Wilberforce, you were making the point before we departed.
I've actually lost my thoughts.
You're talking about Speaker Bagbin, who...
Oh yes, so exactly. So in the GHToday case, we saw the precedent where the Speaker refrained from declaring the seat vacant. Why? Because an appeal had been filed. And he never did until the process ended, and then they went for a by-election, and then GHToday won the seat back and came back to Parliament. So there's precedent, and thankfully it was the same speaker who was then the speaker. So if he decides to depart from the precedent that he has set for himself, that is his decision. Everybody will judge him based on his own actions.
But isn't that done, per what he told us yesterday? That GHToday said, Matthew Nyindam is still MP till December 1.
Yeah, so yes, but that is the speaker. That was what he said. December 1 will come.
Right.
And the appeal will still be pending.
Yeah.
In some of these cases, sometimes we are able to expedite the process so that the court can hear them faster. In fact, it brought somebody trouble, but it has become a practice where if the issue is urgent, and it affects national interest, then we can work the judicial system such that the case can be heard, timelines can be abreached, so that you can hear the case fast. The court gives a decision, and we all move on. We saw it several times in different cases, and we are going to continue seeing them, because there are issues and there are issues. There are some issues that are of national interest. They need to be addressed immediately. You get it? And you need to bypass some of the systems and the structures to be able to get it done so you maintain social equilibrium. If we have an emergency situation as a country that we are in, we have an emergency situation that requires a pronouncement from the Supreme Court. Yeah. We don't say that, oh, the rules are that you must file 7 days, and then after 7 days, wait for the person to respond another 14 days, and then after that, wait 21 days for it to mature before you. By the time you realize you have done 1 month, and the pressing national issue is still raging. Yeah. So in such cases, we go behind the scenes and speak to those in authority and tell them that, look, this is a national issue. We have to do it. And say, okay, yes, let's abridge the time. The Supreme Court will sit immediately and address the matter. This happens in all developed democracies. It happens. So let's not make it look like when it happens with one group, and they decided to just twist the hand of the system. No. Emergencies will come. Right. When the emergency comes, you will act upon it because you are dealing with human lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll take your bite on this. The whole Matthew conundrum.
Oh, this country. You know, the last time, at the beginning of the year, on this program, I told you that I am scared.
Yes.
In this country. And I've been consistent. What has been happening in this country, I am very, very scared. Politically, religious-wise, and everything, I am scared. Look, have we not heard that this matter, the petitioner in this matter, had issues with 41 polling stations? And the contention of the petitioner was about the 41 polling stations. And those were the polling stations or centers that were allegedly having issues. Now, a judge sits on the case and determines that I am going above even the petitioner's pleas to state that the election should be done in
all 152.
In all the 52
polling stations.
152.
Yes.
Why? Even when the petitioner himself says that, look, I have issues with 41 polling stations. Why has the judge decided that it should not be the 41, but 152? It baffles me. Why? I am scared because something like this, we all know that part of the country when little things, I am not saying that they are, look, I will not behave like an ostrich. And you look at the ruling, what happened a few days ago on the streets, where the youth on the street demonstrated, they said they were doing a walk. But you saw the visuals, you saw the video. It doesn't portend well in that area. Why is the why did the judge not declare that the petitioner says that there are issues with 41, then go and hold elections in those polling stations? Why didn't he say that? Probably somebody, I am not saying, but probably somebody is thinking that if it were to be held in the 41, the things will not change. Let's do it. And once there's an incumbent government, like it happened in Akwetia, people will be coerced in a way to vote for the governing party because they will tell you, we are in government. If you want development, your MP is an orphan. You cannot get the development. And we all want, each and every one of us will want development in our area. I have been talking about Lamusie roads all these years. So it is common, or it is reasonable to say that, look, the governing party will bring the development to you, and it may sway some people, and that's the whole thing. That's all this whole thing is about. And IB is saying that Abi has just said it that we may see what happened in Akwetia and the seat
flip to the NDC.
Going to NDC. But what does NDC want to achieve? I'd always say that, look, you will not do something that will probably bring chaos in that area when you have even the overwhelming majority that the NDC have. If you go to Parliament, sometimes, apart from critical issues like budget approvals and all that, even those numbers, you don't see them in Parliament. And yet you are fighting to add...
They say they are on committees.
Which committees?
They are in committee meetings.
So stop it. I have been in Parliament for almost 2 decades now. These committee things and absenteeism, if we want to talk about it,
we will not finish today.
We will not finish today, so forget that one. Look, but that I am scared because this is it is looking like one of the animal farm judgments that we've been having of late, and it doesn't. But if anything happens in that part of the area, why I'm still asking, why not the 41 police stations that
the entire constituency?
The petitioner has issues in? Why the entire constituency? The judge should be telling us in his judgment.
Well, we are expecting it today.
Yes. So we have to read the judgment, the reason judgment, and see why he thinks that even though the petitioner said 41, he is insisting on all.
And there are about 1,000 polling stations.
152. Yes. And the petitioner has issues with 41.
So less than half.
Less than half. So the judge thinks that no, I am the judge.
Less than 1/3.
Even though the issues were not pleaded before me, I will still rule that go and do all.
Yes.
Even in the in the 2013 presidential election petition, when MPP, the petitioners, then Kande Akufo-Addo, the running mate, the vice presidential candidate, Baumia, and then the national chairman, Jake, when they went to court, the specific pleadings, they were asking that the polling stations that had issues should be annulled. They didn't ask for the cancellation of the entire election, 2012 election. They didn't. They didn't call for it. In the same way, this petitioner is not asking for voting in all the polling stations. He's asking of 41, for 41 to be done. And judge decides that
who am I?
I am the ruler. I am the animal farm judge.
Chief, who is chief?
I will decide what to do. So we'll be looking at the judgment. You remember the animal farm judge, by the way. He retired as circuit court judge at age 60. He's been brought back.
No, he's been promoted.
No, the man retired. Oh, no. Forget that one. Yes, and he's brought back. Don't say he's... Yes, so he's brought back. No.
Just before he retired or after he
retired? He retired.
Oh, but you see, you're just talking about semantics. Do you have his birth certificate?
That's why I'm asking, because
the retirement age for circuit court is 60 years. 60 years.
Yes.
So the man, they waited. The man, you mean the man didn't retire? The man retired.
Okay.
He retired and decided, look,
right,
because after you can appoint fresh.
Because his name had been penciled since before his final exit.
His name had been penciled. Is that why he gave
absolutely
judgment?
Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Unfortunately, a lot of back and forth, so we are unable to exhaust all issues. But
look, there's something.
Right.
This sorry to take you back. This Wesley girls thing.
Yes.
And I'm pleading with our Muslim brothers to stay calm.
Okay.
Something is happening. You know, Wesley Girls has another Wesley Girls in Kaneshi.
Yes.
You know, Muslim girls, when they leave home, they wear hijab.
Yeah.
Because they are now allowed to wear hijab at the school, when they take the hijab and put in their bags. And then after school, they wear them. I've just been told that there have been times that they even search their bags and remove their hijabs and bent them. Wow. Why are we doing this, Wesley girls?
Well, okay.
Anyway, so no, this will be resolved.
Exactly.
Be resolved. But I agree with him. Let's all, not just the Muslim that must be calm.
The Christians
everybody be calm.
Everybody
because
must be calm.
what is happening?
Let's take a chill pill.
What is happening in this country? We need special prayers. We need special prayers.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming.
Genuinely scared. I'm genuinely scared.
The scared Awudu and of course Ibrahim Al Hassan. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Hopefully next week we'll have more time to get into the issues. But let's cross over now to the Black Star Square, where the final funeral rites of former First Lady Nana Akufo-Addo is currently underway.
The Holy Spirit. Amen. Grace, mercy, and peace from the Almighty be with you all through Jesus Christ, who abolished death and brought life and immortality to light through the gospel. To God, who alone has immortality and who has called us to his eternal glory in Christ Jesus, be honor and praise world without end. Amen. My thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, says the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. I heard a voice from heaven saying, write this, blessed are the dead who die in the Lord henceforth, blessed indeed, for their works follow them. Amen. Shall we please stand and continue with Methodist hymn number 34. The first three stanzas. 428. MHB 428, the first three stanzas. Of your program, verse 2. Me breath, verse 3 for the last.
Shall we pray? O sovereign Lord, our Father in heaven, before whom generations rise and pass away, we thank you for all your servants who, having lived this life in faith, now live eternally with you. Especially we thank you for Her Excellency Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings for the gift of her life of thoughtfulness, patience, and wisdom. We give thanks for all the treasured moments and events which she shared with her family and friends, making this world richer and brighter for her presence. Give us faith, O Lord our God, to see beyond touch and sight some aspect of what life is with you. And where our vision fails, may we trust your love, which never fails. Lead us, O Lord, in this service, and may it bring glory to your name and comfort and blessings to all of us. May your face continue to shine upon us, and may your uncommon grace and favor be with us through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen. Shall we please be seated? Dearly beloved, the Mass Choir and the National Symphony Orchestra will treat it to a rendition of Like an Eagle. But whilst they do the song ministration, I will respectfully invite the family rep who will take the biography and those who will be taking the various tributes to come to us at these days and be seated in anticipation for their turn. For the tributes, as stated in the brochure, we will have tribute by the children, 31st December Women's Movement, National Democratic Congress, National Democratic Party, Old Achimotans Association of 1966-67 Combined Year Group. And last but not the least, we will take the tribute by the government and people of Ghana, presented by His Excellency, the President. So the Mass Choir and National Symphony Orchestra do a song ministration.
Well, so thank you so much for staying on with us, and intermittently we'll be crossing over to the funeral service for Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. But let's come back in studio, have a conversation with a young man who is doing amazing things. In fact, I would have to ask quite a lot from him because his passion, what he loves to do, is something that is changing a lot of narratives as well. So, let's get into the conversation with regards to Healthy You. Right, so my guest this morning is Benjamin Ankovia, and I'll let him introduce himself, tell us exactly what he is doing, how he describes himself, because I've heard versatile, adventurous, so many attributes for you alone. Ben, welcome.
Thank you so much.
I hope you're doing very well.
I'm all right,
So how do you describe yourself?
I think the best way to describe myself is I'm a creative adventurer. I am a photographer and a filmmaker by profession, and through that I've been able to explore both indoor and outdoor opportunities to express myself.
Right.
Yes.
So you grew up here?
Yes.
So where is the love for cold stuff and then like deciding to put your life at risk? Why? Because we don't like that too.
I guess it's just my imagination.
Right.
If you were to tell my younger self when I was even in Legon that this is something I would enjoy doing, I would never imagine, but I just took a chance knowing that I had a camera. I'd see people, you go on YouTube, take pictures, put it out there. And I was like, why not just go and do the same if I have the skill? I tried it. My first time was a bit of a hit and miss because I didn't know what I was doing. And fortunately, I enjoyed it so much that I decided, you know what, I need to learn this skill and be able to be experienced in it so that when I go outside, I am not necessarily scared, but I'm able to enjoy it. And through that, it snowballed into me, literally snowballed into me climbing mountains all around the world in the snow, on ice, on rock, different avenues.
What has the experience been like, you know, moving from here, now deciding to climb mountains, and especially in those cold temperatures, you know, they feel cold.
They feel cold, like, especially my fingers.
Yeah.
But the experience has been beautiful. It's been a journey.
Okay.
There's the only way I can describe it is it feels like there's endless possibilities in life. Whether I traveled here, as I traveled away, or whether I was to stay here, I feel like that child in me was always going to try and seek expression in different ways. Obviously, I'm traveling, climbing big mountains now, but there's also avenues here that I want to explore with our mountains that we have in Ghana and the outdoor space in general. Yes.
Fantastic. So how has all of these impacted your mental well-being?
It's shown me a different side of me that I don't know if I would have been able to properly explore. It's made me a bit more assertive in how I think, a bit more confident, because I know that I have the skill set to be able to, if I have the skill set to climb a mountain, I'm sure a couple of problems in life I'll be able to solve them. Yes, so yeah, it's just helped me build mental resilience.
And you mentioned about growing up here. Did you see all of these traits in you when you were growing up? That, yes, you love adventure, yes, you're creative, but to this extent?
I think I spoke to my sister a couple of days ago, and we were working on a documentary, and she literally said, if I didn't do this, not necessarily this in particular, but if I wasn't going out and being expressive as a person, she wouldn't ever think of me as anything else, because I was always that kid that was a bit more hyper. I wake up and I'm excited to even live. So it was just always in me. Obviously, my sister knows me better than most people, and she confirms that this was always supposed to be my path.
So you have always been the outdoor person?
Yes.
The outgoing person?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
It just comes naturally to me. I don't like to be indoors too long. Otherwise, I feel a bit claustrophobic. I don't like indoor spaces too much. But even if I'm sitting in front of my house and the wind is blowing, that makes me happier than just sitting down and not doing much with myself. So yes, it's just an amplification of that inner child in me.
And how do you think generally Ghanaians can also tap into that outdoor wellness? Because it's worked for you. It's boosted your personality and health-wise as well. How do you think we can also incorporate that?
It literally starts from making a conscious effort to enjoy being outdoors, because we don't have super big mountains here. Sometimes, if you have the resources, you can travel to the Volta region or Eastern region to go and see these big mountains, but you don't always have to go that far. You can literally find somewhere. There's rice at home. That's all I always say. There's always rice at home. There's a little park somewhere around your house that you can go and walk around. Just being outdoors solves a lot more issues than it creates. So yes, you don't always have to go and climb a big mountain or try and make a couple of friends, see if you guys can stitch together an adventure. If you can't do that, just go to the park right next to your house and go and sit down and just take some air. It's better than just being locked in your room. It helps your mind a lot.
So having had experiences both here and outside the country as well, where would you place us in terms of our appreciation of nature?
Because obviously socioeconomic issues, we don't necessarily appreciate it as much as the other places I've been. And it's only a culture that we can cultivate. It doesn't just happen by chance. It's a culture that we can cultivate by putting in initiatives that allow people to explore Ghana through tourism, and not just for the outsiders. No disrespect to them, but the land is for us as well, and we can equally go and enjoy it as well. So yeah, it's just being able to advertise it well and have initiatives that soak it into the younger people so that the youth will be able to understand it, and there will be that transition into the old, like the younger people getting to enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's put a pin in that. I'll come back and talk about the challenges because it looks like it's all rosy. We'll come back and talk to Ben about that. But let's cross over quickly to the Black Star Square. Let's take a tribute of Nana Kwame Rawlings.
The boy called Jerry John. After 2 years in Mrs. Sam's school, she continued to Ghana International School and then to Achimota School in September 1961 at the age of 12. She found, to her annoyance, that Jerry John, the boy from Mrs. Sam's Progress School, was in her class and noticeably bright. Achimota School had separate provisions for Catholic and Protestant worship. Nana Kanedu attended Protestant worship because she had been raised Protestant. Jerry John, on the other hand, was Catholic. But she recounts that at the age of 15, in Protestant choir practice, Jerry John suddenly showed up to join the Protestant choir. It was much later that she would find out that Jerry John had no interest in being part of the choir. He had joined the choir to be close to her. Halfway through the year of 1966, Nana Kanedu Agyemang and Jerry John completed their GCE O-levels at Achimota. While Nana went on to do her A-levels, Jerry John decided to pursue his lifelong dream of becoming an Air Force pilot. In 1967, Jerry John enlisted as a flight cadet in the Ghana Air Force and later won the Speedy Bird Trophy. Nana Kanedu Agyemang went on to the University of Science and Technology after her A-levels. And it was at the University of Science and Technology that Nana Kanedu, the student political activist, was born. Up until this point in her life, Nana Kanedu had never really been interested in the activism of any kind. However, she soon found herself deeply engaged in student-led movements to address the growing culture of corruption in the country. In 1969, she stood for elections and became a member of the Students' Representative Council, the SRC. Nana Kanedu went on to serve on the National Union of Ghana Students. Nana Kanedu graduated with honors in graphic design and applied arts in 1972 from the University of Science and Technology and began her career at the Ghana Tourist Board. Subsequently accepted a position with the Union Trading Company, one of the largest trading companies in Ghana at the time, rising to group manager a few years later. In 1975, she earned a diploma in interior decoration at the London College of Arts. After years of courting amidst Ghana's socioeconomic upheavals, Nana Kanedu Agyemang and Jerry John Rawlings were married at Ridge Church on January the 29th, 1977. Both in their late 20s, Nana Kanedu was a group manager still at UTC, while Jerry John was a young pilot officer with the Ghana Air Force. As Nana Konadu traveled outside of Accra on assignment for the UTC, she came face to face with the true horrors of poverty as it gravely affected our nation's women and children. In small towns, she worked in the gated communities of the beautiful UTC compounds, where she managed the interior design of all corporate housing units reserved for executives, mostly Europeans and their families. Each housing unit was fully equipped with luxury amenities in well-furnished, British-inspired architecture and bungalows. Though she worked within the compound, she was deeply affected by the local people who lived outside the compound walls. Their plight was impossible to ignore, and it was difficult to fathom what future lay ahead for them and their children. She could not ignore these women she saw in rural Ghana. They left an indelible mark on her mind, heart, and soul. With the second coming of JJ on 31st December 1981, that ushered in the 31st December Revolution, Nana Konadu was catapulted into the position of First Lady of Ghana. She made it her life's mission to ensure that women would be empowered so that they too can contribute equally to nation building and be part of the decision-making of Ghana at every level of our society. So, in 1983, Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings and several like-minded women established the 31st December Women's Movement and the objective of empowering women socially, politically, economically, and culturally to play their rightful role in our national life. As First Lady in 1982, at the time of scarcity, and at the young age of 34, Nana Konadu was also building a family. Her first child was born in June 1978 at the height of Ghana's socioeconomic decline and was named Zenato, let the darkness end, in the Ewe language, symbolizing the state of Ghana at the time. The children who followed Zenato were born in the 1980s, where Nana Konadu juggled effectively her role as mother and wife and her role as activist First Lady. Taking frequent work travels to the rural areas meant that Nana Konadu was not a woman who intended to live a life of luxury as a First Lady. There was work to be done. It is therefore not surprising that one of her key phrases was, "Pregnancy is not an illness," as she got on with her work in the rural areas during her pregnancies. Imbuing her children with her own upbringing, she balanced a strict, disciplined disposition with laughter and love. Very conscious of the political reasons that brought about the 4th of June 1979 uprising and the 31st December Revolution, Nana Konadu and her husband were very intentional in keeping her children grounded. Airs, arrogance, and a sense of entitlement were not tolerated in the Rawlings household. Having come from a home that practiced strong family values, she imparted those qualities to her children, raising them in an environment that espoused patriotism, honesty, duty, forthrightness, and courage. Growing the 31st December Women's Movement was not without its obstacles. However, encouraged by the enthusiasm of women around the country who were open to transforming their lives, Nana Konadu persevered with her mission. The organization, over the years, grew to nearly 2 million members across Ghana, embracing women irrespective of social standing, profession, religion, marital status, or ethnicity. Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings is widely credited with mobilizing and encouraging more women to exercise their franchise at all levels of political participation, from district assembly elections to presidential and parliamentary contests. Under the leadership of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, the movement received wide recognition, both nationally and internationally, for its contribution to issues concerning women. Her political struggle provoked the promulgation of several monumental social legislations under the PNDC government, with its flagship PNDCL 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, and Article 28, subsection 1 of the 1992 Constitution, also reflected in the Children's Act 650. Over the next 30 years, the organization's projects included family planning education programs, which benefited more than 240 communities, the construction of boreholes in guinea worm-infested areas to support several dozen rural communities, afforestation programs with the target of planting several thousand trees in 3 communities in the northern parts of Ghana, the establishment of daycare centers to offer preschool training facilities for children, and the launching of prenatal, postnatal, and child immunization programs in conjunction with the Ministry of Health of Ghana. From the large cities to the smallest villages, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings embraced the duty to serve the least privileged and to stand beside those who felt left behind and marginalized. Away from the news headlines, the movement became a critical lifeline for many women and families across the country, creating a blueprint for the next generation of advocacy groups and development-focused non-profit organizations. With the decision for Ghana to return to multi-party democracy, Nana Konadu advocated for the creation of a new political party that would reflect the pervading political consciousness of Ghana. She believed that the party should further reflect the revolutionary ideals that had been the driving force of what got Ghana out of socioeconomic turmoil under the leadership of GHOne Rawlings. This was to be a party born from the ideals of probity, accountability, and transparency, and open to Ghanaians from all walks of life who upheld these convictions. Working with like minds and putting her artistic and political acumen to the fore, the concept and design of the emblem of a new party was born. Nana Konadu hit the ground running and mobilized the grassroots to vote for the NDC and for its candidate, GHOne Rawlings, who went on to win the 1992 and 1996 general elections and was sworn in as Ghana's first president of the Fourth Republic, with Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, his wife, as First Lady. Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings did not slow down as First Lady of the Republic of Ghana. She worked even harder. With the establishment of the First Lady's office, a distinction between her First Lady's responsibilities and her work as president of the 31st December Women's Movement was created, even though they sometimes overlapped. At the Fourth World Conference on Women in Beijing in 1995, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings expressed her deep concern for the girl child in particular. She stressed, "For us in Africa, the girl child is a special concern. Hers is the future that is often negated right from birth, and hers is therefore the life that must be salvaged. We must therefore give her education that empowers, education that gives skills, and education that builds self-confidence." This declaration followed her relentless advocacy efforts, which contributed Ghana becoming in 1991 the first nation to approve the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. It was for this reason that she sacrificed so much of her own life, standing tall for as long as she had the strength, irrespective of the risks that accompanied her work. For Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, it was imperative never to lose sight of the privilege she possessed and the platform upon which she stood to touch as many lives as she could. Committed to peace on the continent, she hosted the first West African sub-regional conference on the Africa's First Lady's Peace Mission, themed African Women Strive for Peace, at the Accra International Conference Center in July 1998. She did this in her capacity as the first vice chairperson of West African First Ladies. This summit was inspired by the 1995 Beijing conference, where Nana Konadu played a pivotal role in highlighting the plight of the African women and the girl child. Alongside her work to uplift women and children, Nana Konadu was central to the continuity and growth of the National Democratic Congress. She supported candidates that showed interest in running for constituency seats by providing support and political guidance, culminating in their electoral victories. Working with other leading members of the NDC, she was instrumental in establishing the NDC's presence in university campuses and identifying young people in politics who she schooled on real politics. Amidst all of her political hurdles while the NDC was in opposition, Nana Konadu remained steadfast in her political convictions. She continued her work on women's empowerment and child education, while continuously mobilizing the grassroots over their 8 years in opposition and preparing the ground for the upcoming 2008 general and parliamentary elections. She volunteered as a polling agent many times, one of which was at the controversial Osu Presby polling station in the 2008 general elections. Nana Konadu ran in the NDC national executive elections in 2009 and won with a landslide victory to become the first female vice chairperson of the party in 2011. She resigned as vice chair to run in the primaries for the position as flag bearer, challenging the leadership at the time. She made history as the first woman to challenge a sitting president for the NDC's presidential flag bearership at the party's Congress in Sunyani, although she was unsuccessful. Not one to be deterred from her convictions, she stayed true to the ideals of probity and accountability, and with others established the National Democratic Party in October 2012 and became the party's presidential candidate in the 2016 general election. Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings' work in women's empowerment, advocacy, and leadership made Ghana's presence on the global stage a light that transcended borders. From the National Population Conference in Accra in 1989, the 4th Regional Conference on the Integration of Women in Development in Abuja, Nigeria in 1989, the 5th Annual John Hopkins International Philanthropy Fellows Conference in Accra in 1993, the International Conference on Population and Development in Cairo, Egypt in 1993, to the preparatory meeting for the Beijing Conference in Dakar, Senegal in 1994. She participated in and contributed to both national and international conferences on issues of national and global concern. Similarly, she had the opportunity to lend her voice to impactful and forward-looking resolutions that emerged from conferences such as the International Atomic Energy Agency Patrons Meeting in Vienna, Austria in 1994, the United Nations 4th Conference on Women in Beijing in 1995, First West African Sub-Regional Conference on the African First Ladies Peace Mission in 1998, the International Conference on Population and Development in The Hague, Netherlands in 1998, and the extraordinary session of the Crans Montana Forum on Africa in Brussels in 2010. Even while out of office, she continued her work for women's empowerment by continuing to campaign for women and ensuring the electoral victories of female parliamentary candidates across the political divide. Konadu. For Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, she stepped onto the global stage as a woman who dedicated her life to being the voice of the voiceless, a global voice for equality, and a leader who empowered generations. Her life was about finding an inner resolve to fight through every challenge till the end, just as in her name, Konadu. Among her significant publications are the Japanese cooperation with the 31st December Women's Movement, the development of Ghana's women's attire from 1700 to 1900, and effective design work and interior design. She is also the author of It Takes a Woman, published in 2018, and For Hope and Glory, For Hope and Country, 2025. Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings summed her life's work artfully. I could not stop reaching. There were many days when I hoped the clouds would disappear so that I could see a picture of what the next chapter of my life would become. Nothing in these moments had been as I had planned. Somehow, I hoped my childhood had prepared me for the life ahead. I hoped every one of my father's embraces and reassuring words would come back to comfort and counsel me. My family's heritage had carried a weight of its own, and I knew I was fortunate to have rested on the shoulders of these courageous men and magnificent women to now make my little contribution. I had to embrace it as God's purpose for my life and determined to never falter in that commitment. That was not the life I chose. It chose me. Deye Oba Penny Nana Knedu Ajimon Rawlings Oba Beyebi Nawameyenina. We shall remember you for your good works.
So, the biography of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings read there, and clearly very, very rich one, I should say. Well, let's come back to the studio. We're having a conversation with Ben and Kobia. He's a mountaineer. He's been climbing mountains, and interestingly, he's been doing it in very cold places. I don't know what is it with cold, because Ghana boy the cold found bay. But then he's been doing that passionately over the last couple of years. And Ben, before we left, we were talking about the whole experience of being outdoor and all of that. But what would you say has basically you've learned from being out there, climbing these mountains, doing these wonderful things? What would you say you can say that, okay, this is what I have learned from all of this?
Okay, there's two things I guess I would be able to explain properly about what I've learned. One of the first one is chop life.
Chop life.
Chop life, because if you don't chop life, life will chop you.
But you have been daring death with what you do.
It's not necessarily daring death. Like, once in a while, maybe I'll do it without a rope, but majority of the time, I'm on a rope. It's a safety system.
Right.
You take some time to learn, and the moment you learn it, you can well, technically you trust your life on it, so it's fine.
Right.
And the other one I've learned is just being very assertive and very conscious of every single decision you make, because the levels of concentration you need when you are like 14 hours climbing on a cold like a cold day,
right,
has to be top notch. So yeah, it's just being assertive and making sure that you're able to go through it and learn it the right way.
Wait, so talk to me about what we're seeing on the screen now. That's you.
Yes. So that is me. These are a couple of pictures. This is me in Scotland, the place called Rubahunish. On this particular one, I was able to walk for 4 days without necessarily seeing people. I met like 2 people. And yes, I walked for 128 kilometers. And I would, at the end of the day, I'll pitch my tent, sleep, wake up, walk, do it over and over and over again. I've done it several times.
And it never gets boring?
No. When you hear the birds chirping, you hear where I was, you can see the sea, you can see rivers. Bro, like your brain is just tuned for that. It's just that we are indoors so much that it's not normal for us.
What?
Yes. So yeah, something like this. It's a long video though, but yeah, I walked from one point to a long other point, and that's one thing I do. It's called through hiking, where you take a couple of days, whether it be weeks or days, you're able to walk from one place to another, where you self-sustain yourself. So everything you sleep with, you eat with, water, you carry it, but sometimes I take water from like streams and all that. Yes.
Wow. Interesting. I've got a question I'll be asking you later on in the show. But then, I mean, the North Face, how did that come into the picture?
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. They have supported me ever since they met me through someone that is now a friend. They told me they work with the North Face, and they will pitch me to them. And the moment the North Face saw me, they were like, oh, there's not a lot of black people doing what you're doing. We want to fully support you, make sure that you can still go on these adventures and go and have a good time. And yes, they've been providing me with kit, a lot of intelligence, I would say, and money to be able to do all these things and do it well.
I'm sure your parents look at you, your family looks at you and like, this is Ben. We are happy to see what Ben is doing now.
Yes.
And I want to believe that when it started as a young boy, I'm not sure they were too enthused about it. You want to go out there, you are there are parents who complain about the awards, who find themselves very expressive and all of that. What would you say to those parents?
You need to build very good relations with your children. And through those relations, you get to know their interests. And their interests will then be able to guide you to help them facilitate in whatever they want to do, whether they want to become a pilot, whether they want to become a lawyer, whether they want to become a mountaineer like myself. As long as you have good conversations and relations with them, you are able to then guide them through the right avenues, as opposed to just putting a blanket statement on them that, oh yeah, they are too active, or they are too this, they are too that. The more you know your kids, the better you are able to inform them of the risks and obviously the non-risks to take in life.
Right, absolutely. And we need to wrap up the conversation. But what happened to your rap career here at the point you were a rapper?
Wow. Wow. Whoever gave you guys that intel is a snitch. And right now, I'm a full-blown engineer, and I think that's where it ends.
Yes, the rap career is dead.
It's gone. It's gone. It's gone.
Right,
but
so
maybe I might make a song for my documentary, so look out for that.
Well, this is your camera, Ben. I mean, speak to Ghanaians, people who are also embedded with that kind of passion that you have and want to be like you.
I would say it's never too late, whether you're older or obviously young. Just seek your inner child and try your best to explore in life, because there's so much to life than just being in your rooms and sleeping and, you know. You can have fun. There's different types of fun. Try and explore different types of fun. That's all there is to it.
Ben, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
And I hear the name Boy Jamming, but we will leave out for that.
Wow.
All right, so let's cross over again. Let's get the feed from there now.
Or wrong. Your conviction and insistence on action gave courage to the countless women and inspired the nation's democratic process. You lived a life of remarkable courage and resilience, Mum. You lived with an energy that was both generous and exacting, both full of knowledge and mystery. Time spent with you was always a lesson. To those who knew you, you were a visionary with sharp instincts. You had a way of seeing possibilities that others missed. You brought hope to the end of every day, even through the sheer intensity of it all. Our Father trusted you completely because you had an unfailing ability to perceive purpose and possibility. You discerned readiness long before he did. Your vision and strength reflected in every milestone he reached. You were far more than a right hand. You were strategic, clear-minded, and unwavering. You were strategic, clear-minded, and unwavering. You and Dad were in truth one another's partner. You were one another's pillars. As a mother, you were our protector, our advocate, our confidant, and most importantly, our friend. As a grandmother, you were incredible. You were funny, generous, playful, wise, strict, trendy, and above all else, kind. You always found time for your grandchildren and understood each of them with remarkable insight. Your witty remarks, animated storytelling, and even your occasional blastings are dearly missed. Our chats and the joy of watching you dance to music, videos of your favorite artists, brought warmth and laughter into our lives. Your joie de vivre was found in the simple things, the embrace of family, good music, and dance. Mom, Queen of our hearts, your legacy lives on through the lessons you taught us, the love you shared, and the example you set. We borrow your shared strength of spirit. We are illuminated in the purity of your essence, consoled by the knowledge that your soul's mission is for a higher realm. For us, your 4 children, we will avowedly seek to sink our feet into the footsteps of your gallant ways, and with divine grace, emulate your dignified dance through life. We love and miss you, Mom. We love and miss you, Dad, so much. Thank you.
God bless you. We now take the tribute by the 31st December Women's Movement. Thank you.
Nana Kodjo stood as a symbol of African womanhood. Tribute to Her Excellency Nana Kodjo Agyeman-Rawlings by the 31st December Women's Movement. With hearts weighed by sorrow, yet uplifted with gratitude, we, the women of 31st December Women's Movement, gather to honor the memory of our founder, our leader, our mother, Her Excellency Nana Kodjo Agyeman-Rawlings. Her sudden demise is not only a loss to our organization, but also a profound loss to our nation, Ghana, to Africa, and to all who believe in the power, dignity, and potential of women and children. Her passing brings up deep sorrow, yet we are comforted by the promise of Scripture. The memory of the righteous is blessed. Proverbs 10:7. Indeed, the memory of Her Excellency Nana Kodjo Agyeman-Rawlings is a blessing to all of us. Her Excellency Nana Kodjo Agyeman-Rawlings' vision was bold. At a time when many women in Ghana were confined by limited opportunities and social constraints, she dared to perceive a nation where women could rise, lead, and transform their communities. She believed that women were not just supporters of development, but believed that the women not just supporters of development, but drivers of development. With that conviction, she built a movement that reshaped the social and psychological landscape of our country. Her Excellency's work did not end at grassroots empowerment. She was a fierce and fearless advocate of systemic change. She understood the true empowerment required legal and policy reforms that protected the vulnerable and upheld justice. Her relentless advocacy contributed greatly to the passage of the Interstate Succession Law, PNDCL 111 of 1985, which ensured fair inheritance rights for widows and children. Through her tireless efforts in 1991, Ghana became the first Ghana became the first nation globally to ratify the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child and UNCRC. She championed the Children's Act, a groundbreaking piece of legislation that secured the rights and welfare of children across Ghana. These laws stand today as living testaments to her courage and commitment and help many women claim what would have been denied. Her endless advocacy was a pivotal in pushing for legislation to curb abusive cultural practices and contributed to the passage of laws that criminalized harmful social cultural practices such as surrogacy and female genital mutilation. Her efforts echo the biblical call in Micah 6:8. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. Nana Konado lived this out by standing for justice and defending the vulnerable. Under her leadership, the 31st December Women's Movement.
All right, so we'll be getting back there shortly, but let's now talk about an exciting phenomenon, young people doing amazing things, and I'm talking about the National Investment Quiz Competition. And of course, the winners are here. Unfortunately, they're not from my school, but fortunately, they're making us proud and making their school proud as well. So I've got my gentlemen from St. Augustine's College, and they've joined me. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so how was the experience, in all? Let me start with the students first. How was the experience?
It was a very educative journey. We learned a lot of things, but it was very competitive. It never looked easy at any point in time. But by the grace of God, we were able to emerge victorious.
Right. So pass it on, let me find out from him as well how the journey was.
Okay, the journey was very tough, but then by the grace of God, we are here, and then we thank him for helping us to get here this far.
Right. Well, is it now the school, when you go to the school, you get a new voice, so that I can also go back to the school. Well, let me find out from you, when you were crowned champions, you are holding the trophy with so much pride. How does that feel for you, being champions of the investment quiz?
Well, because of our hard work and perseverance, being champions, it shows us and gives us the feeling that what we did, the time we spent, it wasn't useless. It truly showed outcome, and it proved that we were able to use our time wisely and be able to bring the trophy back to St. Augustine's College.
No wonder you are carrying it with so much, pride. But how was the journey preparing them for a quiz of this nature?
Okay, so this quiz is called the National Investment Quiz Competition by the Young Investors Network and the Ghana Stock Exchange.
Right.
So this is the only quiz that promotes financial literacy education. If you look at Ghana, we have a lot of professional financial literacy. And the people who understand financial education, they are less than, up to 60% of Ghanaians. So this quiz put together, and you can, if you watch some videos, students are doing simulation, understanding how you can pick a particular stocks and everything. And these are top-notch style that they've learned. So, in fact, your school was kicked out by St. Augustine's College.
He had to go there.
Yeah,
he had to go there.
It's been a really tough journey.
Right.
From them, we started from preliminaries. Then we had the final where we all camp at the Commonwealth Hall. All of them are there. From Kumasi, we have Pembe College, Kokowa, St. Louis, Kumasi High. They are
all the top schools were there.
Yes, all of them are here.
And you showed all of us Shigi.
Yeah. We have the St. Augustine's College, Fancy Film School, Wesley Girls. They are all here. APAM, Agri Memorial.
Right.
They are all here. And they're working for the particular program. And Gasco really showed them that they are the men.
Pass on the microphone and let me find out what did the trick for St. Augustine's.
Well, talking about the trick, maybe you just want me to tell you so that.
So I'm going to tell my boys.
But anyway, I'll give you a small
okay,
trick. Yeah.
I beg you. At this point, you're messy.
No unique trick. It has been the grace of God, firstly. Secondly, intense preparation. In fact, these guys here, you see the trophy. It's not just by chance. It's been hard work.
Right.
It's been determination, sleepless nights, and motivation from our supporters. The headmaster and then other staff, Absunians. In fact, we want to thank all of them for the support they have given us.
Okay, so let me find out from you, were there any special routines? Did they have to wake up at a certain time? Because I remember when I went to Presec, okay, I won't show you our trick, but one of the things that also happens is that the boys who contest for the quiz, they are different from all of us. Like, they are treated differently. They are always learning, that kind of thing. Was there something special you had to do in terms of routines to make sure that these boys come back with the trophy?
Well, I must say that the journey has been very stressful back from school. But when we got here, we continue the training as well. At a certain point, we sleep at around 3 a.m.
Oh.
In the early hours of the morning.
Wow.
We'll go and have a nap for some 2 to 3 hours. We get up again, going through all the slides, making sure that we don't leave any stone unturned. And I believe that, like our motto says, perseverance conquers all. And through our perseverance and continuous practice, it has brought us this far. And we are so grateful to God, the headmaster, Abyssinians who have actually supported in this journey. And we are so grateful to them.
Okay, let me find out from you. Was there ever a point where you felt, this one there, and I overwhelm you, let's give up and go home? Was there ever a point like that for you?
Not really. The motivation our coaches gave us and our supporters was enough motivation and drive to take us through to the finals and then win the trophy.
Right. So there was no giving up? It's not part of the rules?
Nah, we trust in God, so we
let's
believe
go for the day,
success was our portion.
So what about us? We also trust in God, but we didn't win. We said Illuminati with the Beamers, then we came home. Oh, Charlie.
I know that this quiz, as Young Investors Network, we have Presec winning twice. We are won twice. We also have Paper College winning once. They can win twice. Academy also have won twice. And
Akaka.
Yeah, they won twice.
Then we have to go 3 because Akaka there. How?
So this is the first time Ogasco is winning from the only school from there. They win the final last year.
Okay.
Presec beat them. This year too, they keep Presec at the semi-final.
Charlie, I don't like the way you are saying Presec beat them, Presec beat them. My guy, so you are holding the award, like Charlie. You are showing it to the world. And then browning me because my school didn't do well like that. But for you, how was the entire journey, even from the prelim stage all the way to the grand finale and then winning it? Because you were there last year, you didn't win it. But this year, you came out victorious. How was it for you?
Well, it has been quite tough. You know, at a stage in the competition, you felt like, so this one, it didn't actually go well, but out of everything, we came out victorious. Especially like the semi-finals, where we had to meet like Paper College, and OWAS and Presec. It felt like that was the end for me. But
it's good it felt like that.
somehow we went victorious because we actually prepared very well for it. And by God's grace, we actually came out victorious.
Okay, so what is the word out there to all the schools watching you carry the trophy this year? Are you going to maintain the trophy or hey? After 3 years. Why you like that you are? But guys, thank you so much for coming. I'll pick your final words as we wrap up the conversation this morning.
So for we at the Ghana Young Investors Network, we commend the Ghana Stock Exchange and the Central Securities Depository for putting this together to promote financial literacy among the youth in Ghana. And that I want to say. I also commend GHOne for being with us, and to all the schools who participate in the quiz. It's not just the quiz. We have what we call investment festival. Okay. So we will come for 2 weeks. Yeah, after the training, then the quiz is just
the quiz was the climax.
Yeah, so next year it's going to be bigger and bigger.
Okay, and we also like to thank Presec for not winning and then allowing Abyssinians to carry the day. Or that day people Charlie for look sharp. But guys, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you. And congratulations to you, St. Augustine's. I mean, if I had not gone to Presec, I would have probably come to St. Augustine's, by the way. Thank you so much for coming. And let's show the trophy. Let's show the trophy. The way the guys are not excited, you see, the thing should have gone to Presec. But there's some way. Action good. All right, so let's do some birthdays. It's the 28th day of November. Some wonderful people celebrating their birthdays. This one says, happy birthday, Gabriel Tanko Kwamigan Atokle, Volta Regional Council of State member and CEO of Sesi Adam Company Limited. We wish the blessings of God for your life. Continue to inspire greatness and enjoy fullness of life. This one says, birthday, Miss Georgina Kuma. Wishing you a great year filled with abundant blessings. Have a wonderful year ahead. God bless you so much. Happy birthday to my lovely wife and friend, Mrs. Amai-chan Ijakwa, aka Authentic Sports Center. This is to say that I really love you, and it's from your husband, Michael Ijakwa from the Ghana Statistical Service. He says he loves you so much. Happy birthday to you, his beautiful wife, Amai-chan. Do enjoy your day. Happy birthday to you, Florence Boatin. May God bless you with wisdom. And it's from your sister, Obapa Christiba, to you. Happy birthday, Florence. Do have a wonderful celebration today. Celebrating more birthdays. Happy birthday to Nana Kosia Pokia Che of St. Peter's Missionary School in Ashalebuche. From your dad, Nana Kofiche, and aunties, Ira Adjoa Che, Anita Coleman, and Philomena Puntum Blankson. Oh, Philomena, it's been a long time. Get in touch. We wish you God's blessings and long life. All our love to you, Nana Akusia Pukuache of St. Peter's Missionary School in Ashalebuche. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for you on the show this morning. Thank you so much for being a big part of it. But we're not leaving you just like that. We're crossing over to the Black Star Square to bring you the final funeral rites of Nana Kodjo Rollins. Do have a wonderful Friday, and make sure that in this weekend you keep safe for God and country. We're back same time next week.
Though she is no longer with us in body, her legacy remains deeply rooted in this movement. Her vision will continue to guide us. Her spirit will continue to strengthen us. And her work will continue in every woman and child whose lives she touched. Rest in perfect peace, Your Excellency Nana Kodjo Rollins. You remain forever our founder, our leader, and our mother. Your legacy is eternal, and your spirit will continue to guide this movement for generations to come. Thank you.
Dearly beloved, we continue with the tribute, trusting that the rest of the tributes, the presenters, will help us out, and so we are able to get the nut of it. We will take now the tribute by the National Democratic Congress. National Democratic Congress. Thank you.
Tribute to a trailblazer, Nana Kodjo Rollins. With hearts full of reverence, the National Democratic Congress today bows to honor a woman whose life changed the course of our nation, Nana Kodjo Rollins. She was not only a first lady, she was boldness personified. She was the very heartbeat of a movement that reshaped Ghana's political, social, and democratic landscape. From her early years at the Ghana Tourist Board and the Union Trading Company, she engaged directly with the struggles of ordinary women. These encounters ignited in her a fierce determination to fight for dignity, justice, and opportunity, especially for women whose voices had been ignored. In the restless Ghana of the 1980s, she did not stand at the margins. She stepped into the arena not merely to support a revolution, but to define one. A founding of the 31st December Women's Movement was one of the boldest acts of leadership in our national history. What began as an idea became a nationwide transformational engine that empowered women, millions of women, nurtured community leadership, and restored confidence in those who had once been invisible. Under her commanding and charismatic leadership, over 870 early childhood centers rose across the country. Today, thousands of adults in their 30s and 40s carry the gift of early education because Nana Konadu and her movement walked into their communities and planted opportunities where none existed. Her work was practical, personal, and profoundly transformational. Her advocacy went far beyond education. Through literacy drives, micro-enterprise programs, and legal reform, she helped thousands of women become informed earners and confident citizens. Her boldness influenced the passage of the Interstate Succession Law, PNDC 111, a watershed legislation many rightly call the Nana Konadu Law. She stood between widows and injustice, fighting to ensure that no woman was left homeless or powerless in her darkest hour. Her fearlessness also took Ghana to the world stage. At the 1995 Beijing conference, she spoke for the African girl child with a clarity and authority that commanded global respect. Above all, Nana Konadu